This is a HeadGum podcast.
This week on the program, oh, it's finally over. It's Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. I'm Andrew Jupin.
Land ho! Steven Zadak.
Arik Seasick, rather.
Captain Chris Cabin.
And we hate movies. Hello, everyone. Welcome to We Hate Movies. Thank you for tuning in, as always, and thank you for joining us on what is the final voyage of the Pirate Mania here on the show.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not thanking you.
What?
I'm thanking the folks at home.
I mean, this was
for
a long
sticking
voyage.
with us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long voyage for everyone. If you're thinking, damn, you can take
It's good for everybody to have encouragement, Eric, but Jesus Christ.
We've had some guests along the way. We've had a lot of laughs, but I am very excited to watch things that aren't pirate related. And we'll get to that at the end of the program. But for now, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales from 2017, directed by the directing duo of Joachim Rønning and Espen Sandberg.
Glad you took those, dude, because I was looking at this last night like, who and what?
They did another adventure movie called Kon-Tiki, which is actually pretty good.
It was like even nominated for an Academy Award.
I think so. Yeah, it might have been foreign film. It might have been nominated for that.
I will say that those two guys are a breath of fresh air, especially from Rob Marshall, for sure.
Absolutely. I mean,
time.
the one thing that, and some folks on Twitter were giving me guff, and we'll get to it, I guess at the end of the program, because I don't want to bog us down now. But one of the things I did notice about this movie, especially over that fucking last one, man, the action is way more competently put together here. No way around it.
Yeah, the nautical stuff looks so much better. It's the best it's looked since Gore Verbinski.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of one of our major complaints is that, through a lot of these movies, it doesn't feel like a lot of pirating moments. And in this movie, I mean, yes, there is the paranormal stuff, of course. I'm not saying that there's not that, but at least I felt there were more moments in this movie where it was just like straight up, hey, it's a pirate adventure.
Yes.
Even when, like, to the point of, like, in the middle of this movie, when they stopped doing the pirate stuff, it's like, let's go on our paranormal adventure. I'm like, can we just keep fucking around St. Martin's for a little while? Like, that's totally, that you could just end a movie. Like, if there was and forgive me if I said this before, I've had this thought, like a pirate heist movie with Johnny Depp, and it's just he's getting a crew together, and like that's the whole thing. It's like, oh, tomorrow this is coming in at port, and we got to grab it. That's something.
Exactly. Which we sort of get the tail end of towards the beginning of this movie, but our prologue is the young Turner boy. You immediately know right away that this little bastard is a Turner because he's got dad's curse with a bunch of hash marks on his wall, like counting down the days until Will Turner will be back on land, and then a hilarious collection of Jack Sparrow wanted posters like it's fucking Harry Potter or some shit.
Oh, real quick, the opening, the logo, pirate flag and stormy weather.
Yes, definitely.
Get that out of the way.
Yeah, it was a really and I guess because this one is the most recent of these movies, it's a really slick, super HD version of the Disney opening. I gotta say, it looked cool as hell.
It looked good.
The clouds look cool, and it's like that's just enough. The little pirate flag and some storm clouds rolling in, like, oh, a storm's a coming. Totally fine.
Yeah, there was a train that went by, and then I was like, man, cowboys versus pirates? How about that?
That could happen.
Wasn't that Daniel Craig? Oh, no, that was Aliens.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I guess this is earlier than cowboy times, but the way Johnny Depp has aged, I'm surprised the Civil War hasn't happened.
Yeah, dude, instead of fucking 1760, it's 1860.
Well, you imagine like kids have to have Jack Sparrow wanted posters up on their wall. Like, people have like the Elvis Presley mugshot poster
Yeah, sure.
and stuff like that. He's been around for so goddamn long at this point.
John Belushi with his college sweatshirt chugging Jack Daniels.
Eric, we will talk about the timeline of this franchise, and it is fucking bonkers.
Yeah,
I will say just with
that.
regard to how Depp, has aged, is like $60,000 a month of wine habit and so on, whatever that terribly sad profile of him was. It fits for this movie because in this movie, Jack Sparrow is supposed to be, it's sort of like the John McClane in Die Hard with a Vengeance. He's fucking washed out. He's a loser, basically banned from being a pirate almost, so it checks here that he's like a drunken piece of shit.
I'm glad they did something different with the character. Maybe the road to redemption could have been a little firmer, but
yeah, exactly. That's the thing, is he doesn't like ever put down the bottle definitively, or says, well, I'm gonna do, it's either I drink or I save my friends. Well, I'm gonna save my friends. You know what I mean?
Right, and it
That's
becomes
kind of
French along the way, too. I'm Captain Jack Sparrow. I'm going to save my friends.
I do think that this, the beginning of this movie shows what a bad mother Keira Knightley turned out to be. Because here's the decision. If you father a child by a ghost, you have to not ever tell that child that he was fathered by a ghost and that there's a curse involved that he could possibly break, because this is what you're going to get into.
Well, yeah,
these are the problems.
Much like his father, he's chasing his death right away. he's putting his sack of rocks around his ankle.
Well, dude, he's pulling a fucking AJ Soprano. Did you see this shit?
Oh, dude, fucking Orlando Bloom's gonna have a hot dog in his hand, and he's like, oh no.
I've always loved that because you can sort of tell that Tony Soprano was like, I can't believe I had to lose that fucking hot dog because my stupid son tried to kill himself in the pool.
It is the best. He comes home from work, the Sopranos episode, late in the series, and AJ's hanging himself in the pool, and he's like, ooh, a hot dog. And like, and he's just like, yeah, not a bad day. And then he hears like what's going on. He's like, oh, fuck, Maron, my kid's trying to kill himself.
Oh, you better be here when I get back, hot dog.
Melfi, this is your fault.
But yeah, dude, you're totally right. The answer is 4 words. Your dad is dead.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Or
your dad was a great guy and he's fucking dead.
I got drunk one night at the tavern. There was a lot of guys. You give maybe a Mamma Mia situation.
Oh totally, dude. So it's like it's Orlando Bloom, Gibbs, the pirate who had his tongue cut out, but the parrot was there.
The little person pirate for sure is involved.
Absolutely.
I think Gibbs does an SOS that brings the house down.
But yeah, so this kid fucking rows out to some coordinates that and he's like a little kid at this point. He's figured out these coordinates somehow, takes a rock, ties a rope around it, ties the rope around his leg, dumps that shit, and basically like sort of does like a pop-in to the Flying Dutchman is the idea.
You can't be doing pop-ins. Oh no.
I mean, that is Orlando Bloom's reaction, dude, because this kid, so the kid lands at the bottom and Orlando Bloom is already like, well, fuck, now I have to bring the Dutchman up to the surface because my dumb kid's gonna drown.
Henry, you woke up Jennifer. I have a new life now, Henry.
This fucking dolphin with a little hat walks out.
Brings out a school of fish. These are my children now. Henry, we've forgotten you.
Oh my God.
Henry, listen, you gotta respect your mother.
Why is he covered in barnacles though? I guess he's not doing the job.
Great question.
Lazy shit.
I think maybe, but the barnacle thing, it's light on the barnacle, and I want to say, you can only be hanging out underwater in the ocean for so long before shit starts attaching itself to you, man.
I decided to put the barnacles on to honor my dad. And remember, this is a dad franchise.
Also, you don't know what fucking rules they had about what actually constitutes work on this ship.
Yeah.
It might be like an HOA and they just fucking nitpick you to death.
Yeah.
Well, I took a day off. My back hurt yesterday, and now I've got barnacles all over me face.
And I have to say, so the last time we saw Will Turner was in 2007's Pirates of the Caribbean: At World's End, when he takes this curse up and now he's the dude, now he's driving the Dutchman. And then to jump in a matter of a couple weeks on the show here, 10 years into the future, Orlando Bloom looking a little less dreamy in this movie.
You're absolutely right, but I think it's more of, because if you look at him promo stuff for that stupid fairies show he did on Amazon.
Hey, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, what is this?
It's a show just because I've seen this commercial a million times. I have no idea what it's called.
Cara Delevingne is in it too.
Yes, it's a show in where it's like a quote unquote prestige drama wherein it's 1800s London-y town and there's like fairies are real and magic exists, yada yada yada. Only one
Carnival Row.
Yes, you're exactly right.
Okay, I remember the ads for this and specifically not watching it.
But he's looking like Orlando Bloom in that, and this I think is a clear case of you got me for 2 days and I'm not gonna stop, and I'm not gonna stop eating pasta. You know what I mean? Like it's
I was gonna say he's a little wider, but I feel like everyone gets wider with age. But I guess you disprove it with that Amazon show. He's just a little. He's been eating.
Well, also, I
can't throw stones.
Craft services on this must have been glorious. The amount of money they spilled on this, it's not as much as the last one, but like still, it has to be amazing.
Look, you can cut the budget for my salary, and you can cut the budget for special effects and on-location shooting, but you are not cutting the budget for that peel and eat shrimp buffet.
But you could cut the budget for celery as well.
I am now sending you all a picture of Carnival Row, Orlando Bloom. Just to
you're texting
really
this over the wire.
Yes, I'm texting it over the wire.
Right.
Okay, I'll keep my eyes peeled.
Yeah.
But that is good to know, though, Steve, because I was like, that's such a bummer, man. He is a handsome ass guy, but it's nice to know. You're totally right. He's like, oh, I gotta what? Yeah, all right. 48 hours. You bet your ass it's just green screen.
48 hours and all the pasta I could eat.
Oh, here we go. In from Steve Sadik. Oh, yeah, he looks great.
Yeah, this is
he actually kind of looks like Justin Timberlake with that haircut. Look at that. All right. But yeah. He's like, hey, Dad, I've been researching every curse in pirate lore and whatever the fuck. I know that the way to help you, I'm gonna free you from the Dutchman. All I need is the Trident of Poseidon.
Where is he learning all this shit from? Drunk sailors?
Yeah, he says that he's like been researching this shit all his life. And it's like, yeah, I mean, if he's getting these firsthand accounts, dude, it's this little kid. He's got to be hanging out in taverns and whatnot.
Yeah, there's no books on this shit.
No, like maybe he's like a bar back or something.
And again, like, how is Keira Knightley raising this kid? Again, like, no, we're not looking up pirate curses. You are going to school. You're going to become either, I don't know what the monetary situation is. She probably inherited stuff from Jonathan Pryce.
They're good to go, dude. Look at this fucking cliffside estate that they live in.
Cliffside estate? You only see the cliffs. Do you see the estate at the end?
Well, you see their bedroom at that stupid
that's
Stinger
true.
scene. I guess we never see the actual house.
You never see the actual house. You just see her like running out of the woods in a silent roll. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on in those woods?
Also, is she going to, like, it seems like the Flying Dutchman is close enough to where they live, right?
At least it was parked there that day.
So is Keira Knightley going down there and like on an anniversary trying to drown herself to get some?
Well, that's what I don't understand about this whole thing of like he can only touch land every 10 years. It's like, okay, then I don't know, man. Why don't we practice some effective social distancing here, right? Like she goes and stands at the fucking beach.
Sure.
And you pull up as close as you can without running aground. Or hey, even better, take a little rowboat, like a little dinghy, go pick her up. Row back out in the water, get to fucking.
Elizabeth, no, I'm with Jennifer now. You don't understand. No, I know, honey, please go back to bed. Honey, please.
Unless you fancy a three-way, put your finger in that porthole.
May I remind you, sweetheart, that dolphins are incredibly sexual animals.
Hey, Elizabeth Swan, they don't call it the blowhole for nothing. And Orlando Bloom is like, hey man, don't worry about it. That shit's not real. Why don't you try to actually just live a life?
Hey Dad, I also read this other thing where you can stand in a bucket of water. So why don't you do that? About I saw this in a third movie that Davy Jones just kind of hanging out in a bucket of water. Why don't you go to my birthday party in a bucket of water?
Dude, he could live in the bathtub. Then he could like he could do like a rear window out and like look out a spyglass and see if anyone in the ocean's dying. And then he's like, okay, I got to get up.
Yeah, I gotta go to work. Someone drowned. But so it's actually I really do like all the special effects here with the Dutchman once again. You know, he goes up to the surface, he tells him to fuck off. And it's a cool thing of like the ship just goes back underwater while the kid is still on it, and you know, he's just left like swimming by his little rowboat. We are then I have to ask you guys this. So we cut and it says 9 years later. Did your when 9 years later came up in the text, did it just look like a totally non-stylized like subtitle font to you guys?
No, I think it had some pirating to it, if I remember properly.
I think
I
so.
can't remember.
Yeah.
That's crazy because I was watching it last night. I did not have subtitles on, you know, as it was, because I had headphones on. I was playing it pretty loud, but it just looked like white text with like the sort of like translucent gray background behind it.
Oh no, yeah.
And it just said 9 years later. It looks so bad. I was like, that can't be the movie's decision.
Welcome back to We Hate Fonts.
Hey man, every nook and cranny of these movies, dude, we're asking the hard questions.
You're right. We're exploring them.
So yeah, this is when he's on a it looks like an English ship, and they're besieged by pirates. Anyone get a look at this pirate flag, by the way? 2 skulls with crossbones. I think that's a result of a pirate merger, I guess is how that works.
Oh, right. We're just consolidating the crews.
It looks cool.
Welcome to Sparrow Barbosa.
Yeah, exactly, dude. The old SB pirate line. Totally. And yeah, so this is grown-up Henry Turner. What's this kid from?
Everything. They've given this kid so many chances. He was in The Giver. He's
Gods
in
of Egypt.
Gods of Egypt.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think some other, maybe some maze running has happened. I'm not sure.
Well, because the woman in the film is a maze runner.
Oh, she's the
person.
maze runner. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's also in Gaspar Noé's Climax. No, I'm kidding.
Oh man, I was gonna say.
He's on that Titans show, which I still haven't watched. Which I don't know.
Oh, the Fuck Batman show.
Yeah, get at me in the comments if Fuck Batman's worth a watch.
So yeah, he's on this ship. They're being chased by pirates. And this kid Henry says he like runs up. He's one of the dudes like working in the bowels of the ship or whatever. And he like runs up. He's like, I have to talk to the captain. And he gets up there and he's like, hey man, those are some pirates that are chasing us, but you're taking us right into the Devil's Triangle, my friend. Mm-hmm. And this guy's like not having it. And this kid's trying to like fucking storm the bridge here, dude. He's like a little fucking pirate terrorist.
Well, they appropriately ripped his coat because now he's committing treason, and they want everyone to know that he's committing treason. And you can just kind of get rid of that coat, I think, is the move.
Yeah,
you can
rip your sleeves. Okay.
Yeah, I don't get that, because also like, yeah, one, you could just throw the jacket away, but two, I don't know, man. What if you fucking fell or like had an accident? And you're like, oh my god, my coat ripped, and then everyone thinks you're a fucking traitor.
Yeah.
What if you were walking along a chain link fence,
right,
and you accidentally grazed it up against it? You'd have to throw it away, I think.
You would have to throw it away and not tell your mother.
Look,
That's right.
Look at all the dead bodies. Take one of theirs.
Great point.
Yeah, that's true. So the kid is thrown in the brig, and he tells this fucking old man who later has one of the worst, saddest deaths in this franchise, I think. This old man, about, I'm looking for Jack Sparrow. The guy's like, oh, Jack Sparrow's been dead for years, so on and so forth. But yeah, so then they're going into the Devil's Triangle, and it's like, oh, there's a shipwreck here. Oh, the shipwreck's actually trying to destroy us. Whoops, wait, what? And this is our introduction to Javier Bardem and his crew. And they like lay waste to these guys.
It's pretty cool. I think that the violence in this movie is pretty good.
Definitely, dude. I mean, in this scene, right from the jump, like there's a dude. One of the pirates is after one of the like naval guys, and the naval guy gets a sword like right through his chest, and you fucking see that shit.
One thing I want to point out is with these battles is fucking Javier Bardem's ship is terrible because it looks like a fucking truckosaurus or something.
Yes,
it's like a transformer that like turns into like this like skeletal version of itself and crushes other ships.
Yeah, it's not a great idea, but when you see it actually do the thing, It's pretty cool.
I'm anti pretty cool. I'll be honest.
Not this part, but
It's
when he rolls over the fucking British Navy at the end of the movie,
Okay.
that's great.
Yeah,
It's more like pretty for me.
Oh, man.
But it's great because they lay waste to everyone on the ship, and Javier Bardem is Captain Salazar. His whole thing is like he always leaves one dude alive to tell the tale, and he hears these guys in the brig, and the kid like knocks something over or something like that. So Salazar goes downstairs, and this old man, I mean, is pleading for his life. He's fucking terrified, and like one of Salazar's dudes just kills this guy, like just drops him instantly. But it's like, I don't remember another point in this franchise where there was a character like legitimately pleading for their life and in a not comical way.
Yes.
Like this old dude just gets dropped. But yeah, I mean, it's this whole, the kid mentions Jack Sparrow, and
he sees the wanted poster on the ground because the kid was carrying like 50 copies for some reason.
He just went to the the
Kinko's.
Caribbean fucking Kinkas.
We should say that one thing is that we should talk about Javier Bardem and how he looks at this stupid movie, because it's ugly. It's not good.
I kind of think it looks kind of cool because the idea is like, I guess he's underwater the whole time, so his hair moves like he's underwater even though he's above water, and I kind of like that effect. He does look like kind of like dog shit, but the rest of his crew is pretty cool too, with the whole like missing faces and shit.
There's like 8 things going on with him that I was just like, I need 2 or 3 max here, buddy. He's got these burn marks from a cannon fire. He's got 2 sword hands. He's got the underwater thing. He's got this busted ass coat that he's wearing. I mean, I get tired of it.
I'll tell you what, the one thing that he doesn't need is the penguin, the Danny DeVito penguin goop in his mouth.
That's the one step too far for me.
Yeah.
I'm more with Eric on this. I think it's actually pretty rad.
The underwater thing particularly is what
I like the hair. The hair is cool.
The effect of that is really cool. I just like that they're all like super waterlogged, partial people.
Yes.
Like there are some of those crew members that just sort of look like it's like the Invisible Man almost, which is pretty great.
I'm just really glad we got something new like Ghost Pirates.
Yeah, well, I mean, the funny thing is, like, I don't know, man. That's why there shouldn't be 5 of anything. There's only so much shit you can do.
Just have him fight another pirate.
Yes.
Have a character, not a force of fucking dead zombie ghost things.
And that's the thing. I agree. I think that the super, and also there's just way too much supernatural. Like in the first movie, we were closer to Indiana Jones version of supernatural. Like one or two things are kind of crazy.
Yeah.
This movie, we've got a fleet of dead ghosty pirates. That's enough. And then all the Trident shit later on, and and also for some reason he travels around with dead birds and dead sharks too. Like also what
it is too much. It is too much.
What constitutes being enough of a person to be on his ship? Like, because there's like 2 dudes that are like literal like cufflinks that are people.
I mean, yeah, obviously there's not a lot that's explained here, but it's like, I think if you were on the ship at the time that it was cursed in the Devil's Triangle, dude, like that's just,
there's just a floating thing of entrails.
That'd be great if it was just a large intestine walking around with a sword.
Well, that's left with Billy Budd.
Oh, look out for Skaggs. He's a real asshole. And then an asshole shows up. It's just an asshole.
Oh, look, here comes Skaggs. Whoop, 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 whoop. But I love, so Salazar's like, hey man, I need Jack Sparrow's compass. And I have to say that it's pretty impressive that a seemingly meaningless prop from the first film
Jesus Louises
is now such a massively important thing by the end of this franchise. Way to go, everybody. You did it.
Not only that, I mean, later on, Johnny Depp gives it to someone else, and suddenly it awakens Salazar, and it's like, wait a second, did that thing not change hands at all?
I made a note about that because it definitely did, because Elizabeth Swann is using it all over that third movie.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think even like what do you call it? Jones has it for a little bit. Like everyone has that fucking thing, but in this movie, it's like, oh,
just change the fucking thing. You like do something different. Like the last movie, which wasn't good. You know, it's like the Fountain of Youth or whatever. Just do a new magic thing. Maybe Jack stumbles across it or what. Maybe he does actual pirating and steals some treasure and finds it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that would be pretty cool if that actually happened. But I mean, they did introduce a new magic thing, and you're complaining about it.
The Trident? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but how about a good one? How about that, but better?
I'm with Eric on that.
So he needs the compass. So it's basically like, hey man, you lead me to Jack Sparrow, and I'm not gonna kill you. How's that sound? And he says, I always leave a man alive to tell the tale because, as we all know, dead man tell no tales. And then, as you pointed out, I give you all the credit for this.
Smash!
What a fucking big ball move.
It's something.
You are saying the title of the film like half a second before that fucking title card comes up. Wow, that's balls.
I mean, it's dumb as shit, but it is also big balls.
It's also a long time. It reminded me of that Friday the 13th remake where it's like 25 minutes and it's like,
right.
here's the title of the movie. All right, let's go.
And you're like, wait, I didn't think that was going to happen. Yeah, exactly.
Like they're watching the final cut of this movie and it's like, wait a second, you fucking put the title card there?
Oh, fuck. I dropped it in Adobe Premiere by mistake. It looks okay, though, right?
It was supposed to be right after the castle.
I will say not enough Javier Bardem in this movie. I like this version. Like the character isn't super well defined either. Like in this part, he's just like, will you tell him? Will you tell him? Like that's kind of a fun, like he's a little what do you call it, more manic for a second, but that doesn't hold a lot.
Right. He's also polite in that moment too.
Yes.
And then he's just murdering everyone later in the movie, and there's no like tit for tat, there's no banter, there's none of that character remains after this title card.
They do lose it in the third act because it's not a great third act at all. But I at least appreciate, like, I love how like crazy he is. Like
Sure.
He's nuts, and he's been obsessing for years about Jack Sparrow. We'll of course get into all the past history.
Sure. I mean,
and
his
whatnot.
his motivation just for himself makes sense, but like the whole thing, like I hunted pirates because my dad and grandfather both did, and they died, and it's just like, what is it, pirate hunting tradition? I don't know.
Well, no, isn't he? He's like a Spanish naval officer, right?
Yeah.
Like
Right,
that's the whole thing. Is like he's not a pirate.
No. But he hunts pirates. His whole mission in life is to kill pirates because pirates killed his dad and pirates killed his grandfather.
Right, who were also, though, pirate hunters, right? It's like the
Right,
family
it's-
tradition kind of a thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I'm sure it happened.
But I am also more interested in that character, a character that is like obsessed with hunting pirates because his fucking dad and his grandfather were killed by them, than the guy who is obsessed with the compass. That's gonna lift this curse. Another
Yeah.
goddamn curse.
I mean, that's a great point, Chris. Just have him be a pirate hunter and let's
Yes.
go do it. Let's go have
Let's
some
hunt-
sword fights. Let's have some fucking cannons without a fucking magic coming out my butthole.
Well, it's not the movie's fault you were sitting at home fucking farting through the whole thing.
Oh, Skag, stop farting.
Oh, Skaggs, you did it again.
Must have been that spell I had for dinner.
So then we open on St. Martin's, and it's this guy who's really excited about, look, it's the greatest bank that ever existed, yada, yada, yada. The St.
Yeah,
Martin's
this is
Bank.
Bruce. What is this guy's name?
Bruce
the actor?
Spence?
Spence, yeah.
Right.
He's gyro captain in the Mad Max world. He's in. What were we saying this last night? He's also one of the poachers in Ace Ventura 2.
oh yeah, stay the fuck tuned, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah. So yeah, they're dedicating this new bank in St. Martin, and I think right before this though is when it's weird how they introduce this female lead, this Kaya Scodelario actress playing this Karina Smith, because she's introduced in like little bits here and there. Like there's
Yes.
just a quick, like she's being sentenced for being a witch because she's actually a fucking scientist. Like is the idea she's in a fucking cell and this priest is like, yeah, you've been sentenced to death, so you're a witch.
Well, I mean, yeah. So she does know science and stuff. And Andrew, I don't know about this movie because I didn't see her like learn every single science thing.
Didn't see her go to school to get her master's.
Where
my
Where
God.
was the science book? I'm confused.
Incredible. This is damning evidence, Eric.
It's true. That is why I don't like the movie.
But she's kind of rad right here because this priest is like, any last words? And she's like, well, by the way, when you were running your fucking dumb mouth, I was picking this lock. And she fucking, opens the door. This priest gets knocked down, which I laughed about. And so, then we cut to Bruce Spence. He's opening. They're dedicating this vault, bank vault. Like, here's our new bank on St. Martin. Here's the vault, and we're going to open it up, and nobody's been in here yet. And how great is this? And they open it up. And of course, there is our friend, Mr. Jack Sparrow, passed out in the safe. And, I have to say, we've been harping on this since movie 1. But dude, when he gets out of this safe, you get one look at really like drunk, down and out, super scumbag Jack Sparrow. Now, that smell is ripe.
It's not good. I mean, how is this guy's wife fucking this dude? Like, ew.
That's a great question.
There's a woman in the vault with them. They decide not to shoot because isn't that your wife?
Dude. Here's Bruce Spence getting cucked at his own fucking bank dedication ceremony.
How
insane.
How does he still get hard with all the STDs? I don't understand it.
And
maybe
the
it's
rum.
it's permanently hard. It's just stuck that way.
That's a fair.
Okay,
maybe.
so Bruce Spence.
He's got baggy pants though. You're not seeing nothing.
And I know you are on the lookout, Kevin.
I'm there looking, and I saw nothing.
Bruce Spence should then grow a beard, become Cuckbeard the pirate.
Yes,
Finally.
finally.
Yes,
Yes.
Cuckbeard.
The return.
And he's the guy that hunts pirates. He's a pirate hunter named Cuckbeard.
And this is the thing where like the vault is on some chains, Gibbs and co, including Stephen Graham. And
I think that we were down to only 3 remaining OG pirates here. It's Big Daddy Gibbs,
yeah,
the little guy, and then Stephen Graham is Scrum. I think that's his name. Mm-hmm. And they're sort of like they're attaching shit to horses. So you don't really know what's going on here. And it's kind of like right after like, oh yeah, well, didn't he fuck your wife? And like they start firing on him because like she gets out of the way. They start firing, and the safe is pulled out of. Well, the plan, I guess, initially is we're going to pull the safe right out the back of the building and be off with it. But instead, they set out what, honestly, guys, I think is a really fucking awesome action sequence where the whole building is being pulled through the streets by these horses.
It's fun.
And they're doing a pirate thing. They're trying to steal a treasure.
No, this is one of the better sequences of the movie.
Best,
sequence,
I would say, yeah.
And the weird thing is it starts with Bruce Spence being like, hey, Jack Sparrow, why don't you leave the ocean cold? And we're running out of shrimp. Oh, yeah? Well, I had sex with your wife.
God damn it, that would be great if he actually insulted him like that and then just gets pulled away. But, we're dragging this whole building.
Yes,
tons of stuff is being destroyed.
This is the 9/11 of St. Martin. This is the first thing. This is like the first one. It's like 111.
Hundreds dead. I mean, you can't see him but like that building went through some living quarters. It looked like.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, and one of the greatest moments of destruction is Karina, our scientist who is broken out of the jail cell, goes to this dude's. I don't even know what the fuck you call this. I mean, I guess he's a professional astronomer. He's got this massive telescope. And, there's a sign on the door that's like, no women and no dogs. And this guy's like, but you're a woman and you're in my store and you're touching my telescope. And this dude's like losing his fucking mind. And then she's like, oh, actually, like you had this one little thing out of check here. I realigned it for you. And then the fucking building comes by and just slams into this building, destroys this guy's telescope. Oh, it's funny.
This is when like, I think Roger Moore did a pass on this script. There is so much innuendo and double talk. It's like, this is the first time a woman's ever touched my telescope. And she's like, well, that figures or something like that.
It's a very horny movie.
It's a super horny movie. Thank you.
Oh, that's what it's I guess this is the name of it's either the name of the brand of the telescope or the nickname that he gives it. But I wrote it down. The guy says, No woman's ever handled my Herschel.
Yes.
Okay.
Got
And then
it.
this dude also calls her a witch, of
Mhm.
course. But then his telescope gets fucked up, which is great.
Johnny Depp kind of saves her for a second, and they're in this together. And
Right.
And Dave Wenham is trying to kill her while
Yes,
everybody else is trying to get the fucking house that's running through the fucking streets.
I'm happy David Wenham gets some work in this movie, man.
Yeah.
Who's this guy? Who is he?
He's great. He's on, I think he's Australian or New Zealand, maybe.
Mhm.
And
He's
Top
in
of the Lake.
Top of the Lake. He's in a lot of. He's in the latter two Lord of the Rings movies.
Yep.
As
Okay.
Boromir's brother.
Oh yeah,
Snoramir?
I think it's Faramir. Maybe
Faramir, yes.
Yeah. He was
well,
good in
I gave it a
those.
shot.
He is good. Yeah, I like the actor.
He does a lot of character actor work. He's really good.
But like I love that his whole thing in this movie is like, I'm gonna get that witch for like a large portion of the film. That is his only motivation, is capturing what he perceives to be a witch.
And maybe I wasn't paying super attention, but doesn't he just disappear? I don't know if he dies or anything concludes with his character.
I think he's on the ship with the rest of the
Got
English Navy.
Yeah,
when
the
Salazar
Truckosaurus,
fucks
I
it up.
think, gets
Got it.
Uh,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, so he doesn't
he's-
really just get a
yeah.
real death. It's just sort of a group death there.
He didn't
Yeah.
escape to Gravedigger in time. So.
By the way, I would watch a movie called Get That Witch
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
with an exclamation point. That sounds fun.
Oh,
It
yeah.
sounds like the title of one of the fake Tracy Jordan movies on
Yeah.
30 Rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Tracy Jordan stars in Get That Witch.
Or you could do like a 60s-esque kind of sex romp kind of a thing.
Oh, totally. It could go that way also. I'd appreciate that. So yeah, big great chase scene. It ends with the building like getting caught outside like the entrance to the town, and everything like goes tits up, and they escape. And then honestly, great gag, great button on this whole thing. They go to be like, all right, now our winnings from the safe, and all the money has fallen out, and there's like one little coin left in the whole thing, which is, I think, a pretty great laugh.
And
Yeah.
Sparrow takes it. Then he has the balls to ask for a tribute from everybody else.
Wow, dude, the fucking nuts on this disgusting guy.
The tribute thing is like a new thing.
It-
And
yes.
like they do it
Yeah.
a lot in this movie, but I don't remember it coming up before.
Neither do I.
I think they're trying to replace the parlay thing
Yes.
Ooh.
with
With
something
this-
like this.
Now this is the new pirate thing you can all learn in this movie.
Yeah.
Right? They
Because
also
there
got
is
rid-
no instance of parlay here.
No.
It's true. They also
They
got rid
stopped.
of the rum being gone. I think the last movie didn't have it, and this movie I don't think has that either.
It's more wine in this movie.
Is he drinking wine in this movie?
Yeah, I think that's usually what they're drinking. Like jugs
Really?
of wine.
I think it's a jug of rum. Yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum.
I know
don't-
that's why, but like you never hear them talking about
That's
it.
true. Yeah, it's,
No, it's just Johnny Depp was just drinking wine. On
yes,
set.
it's also true. And it looks it. He winds up like I think Karina gets caught again. He kind of betrays her. She does say it. I do think this is something that was in play in one of the iterations of the script where she's like, I never met me father, and I'm like, he's her father. Like I immediately when she says that to him, like he's got to be your dad. It's a classic case of who's my dad.
To who?
And-
To Barbosa?
No, she says it to Johnny Depp in the beginning.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
okay.
just like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then, my father taught me how to do this and this, but I've never met him. And I'm like, okay.
You're saying at that point in this movie, you then thought that Jack Sparrow was her father?
Yes. And it would make more sense.
Oh, I see.
I guess it would make
I was
more
confused
sense.
for a second because I was like, but Steve, that's not what happened.
No, yeah, certainly not.
Yeah.
Certainly not.
You have to introduce, then you can kill off a character, and they're not going to kill off Jack Sparrow.
That's a good point.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what this is. The old switcheroo here. But yeah, so we should mention Sparrow at this point is abandoned by all of his guys. They're like, you know what, dude, you're fucking drunk. You fucked us on that whole robbery, and now you're asking us to give you tribute. Tribute for fucking what? Go fuck yourself. And they all leave him. There's a couple of new guys on the team, and they're like, Jack Sparrow is no longer our captain, and that's sort of that. And then meanwhile, because the Turner boy is the sole survivor of that wreck, he's in a hospital. He's been captured by the British Navy.
And he's still wearing that jacket. They're like, oh, look, we got
Yep.
ourselves some treasoners here. And I'm like, well, dude, don't fucking wear that jacket.
Put the treason jacket on that dead guy.
Yeah.
So then this is Karina comes in here. She's pretending to be a nun working at the hospital. And this is where she meets up with the Turner kid. What's his name? Henry Turner.
Henry Turner.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, she's great in Crawl from 2019. Good
So
movie.
she's the daughter in that movie.
Yeah, Barry Pepper is the father.
I gotta see it, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
Super fun movie. Yeah, late at night. It's a good late at night. You know what I mean? Like you're watching your second or third movie of the evening. You'll have fun with that.
It has a sense of
nice.
humor too, which is nice.
Yeah, I think she made bank off of all those Maze Runner movies. She's big in those.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's in like all of them.
So, Chris, you would say that she got the cheese at the end?
Yeah, yes, Eric. Yes, I would. I would say that.
The cheese is like cheddar, like money. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Eric, for explaining that.
So they're both talking about, the Trident and everything. And this is where things get a titch. And it's a Jerry Bruckheimer movie, so I get it. It's not surprising, but things get a little too National Treasure here because she's like, I have this book. It was Galileo's, and he was obsessed with finding the Trident.
Yes.
And I was like, you know what? That's kind of dumb. And then she's like, but that's not all, Andrew. He also built the spyglass so he could, and I'm like, man, no, do not National Treasure this Pirates movie.
Could you Galileo not?
Galileo had enough on his plate. He didn't also have to be searching for the fucking Trident.
The fucking Trident of Poseidon becomes the big MacGuffin of the movie. So the Christian god never existed. Fuck
Clearly.
that shit. Ancient Greek times, yes. Okay.
Hey, man, it's more interesting to me than watching fucking Claflin in the last movie bitching about the love of Jesus.
You are correct. You are correct.
Yes.
But go all the way. Give me Atlantis.
Yes,
Yeah.
But also, if you give me firm shit instead of wet shit, I'm not like happy.
You'll be happy with my firm shit, Chris Cabin.
Andrew Jupin's firm shit.
There's a fucking disgusting moment right here where Sparrow's like walking around St. Martin, like still just really super wasted, and he face plants in like a pile of shit and then goes into this bar still covered in shit.
I like how that he destroys an entire building and stays in town.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I guess he's too drunk or fucked up to even know. Or
Yeah.
I think that might be something there.
I don't even remember what happened with that vault. I wasn't even trying to ride that house that way.
You know, man, I used to be the captain of the Black Pearl. You ever hear about it? I didn't think so.
Man, Bruce Glover as the fucking as a pirate makes much more sense
Yeah.
than almost anybody else here.
It's me, Captain Salazar, man.
But the weird thing is, like,
He's specifically cast as Captain Salazar.
I like it.
We set up a lab in the quarters, man. We're doing great.
oh man, the Finch ship comes in 3 weeks. We gotta hit it hard, man.
Now remember, we can't eat that one because then it'll all go in the water, and that's a no-no.
Oh man, Jack Sparrow stole my hat again, man.
There was a mention of like one of the crew members of Barbosa accidentally says Salazar as Salamander. And I'm like, this Bruce Glover would be Captain Salamander.
Here I am, man, the slipperiest pirate in the high seas.
I'm only slippery because I'm going through withdrawals. You can't catch me with my cold sweat.
Slip through your hands again. I'm the salamander.
Most pirates, they got a bird on their shoulder or a monkey or something. I have a hippopotamus with me. Not much crew, but I got a hippopotamus, man.
I do love. I mean, the weird thing is they don't play this Jack Sparrow thing as sad when he does it. You know what I mean? It's not even comical either. It's just sort of like, give me a bottle of rum. I don't have. Here, I'll suck your dick for it. I'll suck your dick for rum.
Yeah.
But this part where he gives the magic compass that he's been he's been loving that fucking thing for all these movies. He gives it up for a bottle of rum or whatever this is. Meanwhile, we just saw him get a fucking gold coin out of that fucking vault.
Yeah, that's enough for 3 bottles of rum at least, I would think.
Does he still have it though? Like maybe one of those other dudes like took it instead or something.
I don't know. I don't remember that happening. But
maybe
hey,
it fell in that pile of shit that he fell in back
But it's
there.
like clearly
Gibbs lifted it.
Yeah.
That pig got it, you think, maybe?
Oh, the pig was eating it, yeah. But yeah, so this dude, the guy says something like, show me, he's like, how about a bottle of rum? And the guy's like, show me your silver. And because Jack Sparrow's a pirate, he's not used to financial transactions in such a way, so he's a little confused at first. And then he's like, all right, like, how about a barter? He gives this dude the compass, and when he puts it down on the table,
so this credit card, I insert it or do I slide?
Is it a tap? Is this touchless?
Yeah, it is a chip. Oh, it is a chip, love. Where do I put that?
Bend over and I'll show you.
Here, let me wipe it off for you.
Oh,
Okay, put it back in.
Oh, damn, I gotta remember what zip code I had when I started the card.
I gotta tell you, man, that is a real pleasure of having moved but stayed in the same zip code. Oh, bless it. Because it would be at least another 2 years before I got everything turned over.
Sure, yeah.
Magnetic strip's a little bent there, love. Let me just get that again.
Tony, yeah, we're having problems with the machine again. Tony, could you come here?
Yeah, this guy's trying to tell me that my card's no good at this ATM, man. And I feel like just tipping it over in this tavern.
Mr. Glover, you're using a Barnes & Noble gift card.
Oh, not again, man.
The Barnes & Noble booksellers, they're probably back from pirate times, right? That's where when they were founded.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Barnes and
be.
Mr. Noble.
But so when he puts this compass down, everything starts shaking. Sort of a throwback to that first movie when the amulet falls into the water and it sends a message to Barbosa. Everything starts shaking here. And now Salazar and his crew are freed from the triangle because Jack has given up. He's given away the compass.
Yes. And now they can go and they know where to go. And they start like just fucking raising hell on the high seas. By the way, this is Jack Sparrow responsible for like hundreds of pirate deaths at least.
Right? Absolutely. All for a bottle of booze, dude. It's pretty sad when you think about it.
Yeah, but like also, how did this curse even happen again? So, I mean, we'll get to that flashback scene, but like it's just the area, like, oh, this part of the ocean, you might get a curse.
Well, it's the what do you call it? The Bermuda Triangle, and that's.
Well, I think someone somewhere is holding the copyright to that because this is the Devil's Triangle.
That's right. It's me again, Larry Cohen. I own the Bermuda Triangle.
I'm having sex with Amelia Earhart, love. Savvy.
Oh,
Savvy.
Oh, inside the Devil's Triangle, time means nothing.
Exactly.
So a woman from the
place.
20th century flies back to 1760.
Yeah, he's just drinking with some people from like a passenger jet.
It's a bunch of tourists thinking they're on their way to vacation.
Oh, thank you, Carl.
So Sparrow is found by Bruce Spence and their guys, and Bruce Spence is like, I cannot believe you fucking stayed in town. Well, now that we've caught you, it's the death penalty.
So now it's both him and Karina are about to get executed. In the jail cell, Henry shows up and he meets up with Jack Sparrow, and they have a conversation here. They make their pact kind of a thing.
Yes, he's like, I am the son of Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann. And it's kind of great. He's like, you're the evil spawn of them two? And I was like, yep, be suspicious of this child, Jack Sparrow. They do insist on continuing the joke of him calling Will Turner a eunuch, which is like, dude, it wasn't fucking funny in the first movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to like kind of remember that too. You're like, the fuck's this guy talking about?
It's such a blink and you miss it thing. And at this point, it's 2017, and you're like, is that a fucking Game of Thrones joke? Like, what are you talking about?
Hey, Jack,
Yeah, I have
do
no
me a
idea.
favor. Write down your address, the date, and the time for me, okay? And I'm going to take a look at that.
But yeah, so Salazar is firmly on his way to kill Jack Sparrow with his army of the dead. And as Henry explains to Jack, hey man, the Trident of Poseidon is your only hope because I guess this is as far as like Deus Ex dumb magical things, this is the tops. I think it's basically, hey, whoever controls the trident controls the sea, and then all curses in the ocean will be broken. Isn't that convenient, everybody?
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
at least like the Fountain of Youth was very specific, and I wouldn't call it grounded, but it is like we want to do these kinds of things, and it only does this certain thing, and it's really specific all the way through.
Yeah.
Here it's just like, I don't know, there's a magic thing in a magic place, and it does magic.
Well, and it's so just, this amorphous object that there's even a part towards the end of the movie where someone says to Javier Bardem, like, don't do whatever, it's not going to work, or it's going to kill you, whatever it is. And he's like, oh, don't worry, the trident will fix that. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know? That wasn't on the list of things the trident is supposed to do from the beginning of the movie.
Nah, Trident's got it. It's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah. Trident again.
Cheat on your wife. Trident. Trident.
We make that deal, at the eve of the execution here, and we cut to, man, this is kind of great. Here is Hector Barbosa fucking living it up, pimp style on this ship, dude. Oh, he's having a great time.
Because he's made a pirate. They're like, I feel like once a week they're like, oh, do you want to go after the curse of old man something or other? Like, well, no, I'd rather go get gold. I'd rather actually, I don't want to. You want to find the fountain of something that's gonna give you immortality. I'd rather get a lot of money. Actually,
Yeah.
Yep.
He looks great. His whole crew is well dressed. It's finally nice to see them do pirating. By the way, I noticed online people had pointed out that I was incorrectly pronouncing his name through all these episodes as Barbarossa.
Yep.
And it's not because I'm a stupid guy or that I mispronounce things. It was actually a joke I've been working on.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And I think it'll go a little something like this. Okay, so ought to call him Barbarossa, because like the Axis operation to invade the Soviet Union. How's that going, babe? This guy's all bluster, cha-cha.
Where am I?
That's the news, and I am out of here.
I'm glad that took over a month for you to construct that joke.
I didn't know I was saying it wrong till today, but
I'm glad that Barbosa at least is getting into interior design. This place looks fucking incredible. He's got golden skeletons up near where the entryway is, and he has like a hellfire mural behind him.
Yeah.
It's just magnificent.
It's
what
great.
the skulls? Like, when did he become like a fucking like monster? Like, what are these? Oh, all these skulls and souls.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like
Absolute power corrupts absolutely, I guess. Is that...
sure. I was gonna say, there are those people that really love Halloween.
Okay.
Like folks that are really obsessed with like the Nightmare Before Christmas and shit like that.
Mhm.
I just think that's Barbosa, dude. He's like, you know what? I'm a pirate, but it doesn't mean I can't also have a ghoulish sensibility.
Also, people who love their work and are great at their work are always changing it up.
Yeah,
they
that's a good point.
They have to, find new things to do.
Well, that's a good point, because at the end of the first movie, the fourth movie, he's like, he gets control of Blackbeard's ship, he gets a sword, and everyone's like, "Oh, here we go! It's going to be some hellish thing." It's like, no, dude, we're all going to Tortuga to get drunk, and that's how he fostered a great business plan. Like, he's got a great team behind him. You know what I mean? He treats them well. He pays them fairly.
He was finally going to Tortuga to recruit people to be on his crew. And it wasn't just a ruse to like get a bunch of drunks and feed them to Davy Jones, like in previous recruiting scenes we've seen on Tortuga. I do also love when you see like, it's not just his quarters on the ship, but like everything outside, like on the deck, there's just tons of jewels and shit. And the colors, there's like bright blues and these like really rich purples and reds just like shining everywhere.
That's
a
great point, because this whole fucking franchise has been so gray and dark. And yes, treasure, it's bright. And honestly, some of these ocean shots are very bright too. It's very appreciated.
It's great, dude.
A lot of clarity to everything that's going on here, which is really, really helpful compared to what we just went through with Stranger Tides.
Yeah,
which is a
absolutely.
mess.
Yeah.
I mean, I this is where one thing I have to say about Javier Bardem as Salazar. A thing that happens to make you think that it's eerie that that Salazar is about to be there is there's a flock of half-dead pigeon chickens that are like just flapping around, and like they try to make this really ominous, and I'm like, it just looks like a dead chicken.
I think they're like buzzards or something. I think they eat the dead, maybe.
Isn't that vulture?
Kevin, you're talking about there's a great scene where there's just some random ship and like dudes are like fishing or something, and then the bird lands on the guy's boat and he's like, "What's that?" And Salazar like rams them.
Yeah.
I think it might have been one of because it's Admiral Barbosa now, and he's got multiple ships. They do come into that cabin and tell him that 3 of his ships has already been sunk. So I just assume maybe this was one of his. Maybe it's not.
I mean,
I don't know.
It's just hard to take him seriously when he's like, "Oh yes, here he comes. The dead chicken will tell his tale."
I don't know, man. It kind of looks like the chicken from Gumby.
The chicken from Gumby.
Remember Tilly the chicken on
Yes,
that
I do.
animation?
Yes.
Where it's just this like just like
Yeah.
like the robot chicken from Robot Chicken, but it's like covered in oil.
I mean, this one's not talking like Tom Waits, so
That's true.
Right. Yeah. People might not know. We have a tier on Patreon where we talk about cartoons, and we did Gumby the other month, and there was an evil chicken on it.
It was evil, dude. So yeah, by the way, the 2 dudes that are like, "Hey, some ships in your fleet have been destroyed," are the 2 like know-it-all British guys from the very first movie that at the time of the 3rd movie were like pretending to be pirates because like Beckett was getting fucking killed, and now they're like they are straight up, they have made the transformation into pirates. Whole hog. They're now like more convincingly dressed as pirates and more convincingly carrying themselves at pirates, I guess is the idea. I love that Barbossa's listening to that string quartet when the 2 guys come in to inform him, and they don't stop playing, and he's got to fucking fire the gun at the wall to get them to shut up.
Apparently Mackenzie Crook and everybody else, or a lot of the other pirates, were asked to be in this movie, and a lot of them declined because of quote unquote scheduling conflicts, i.e. like money. Like, I think it was just, there was a real hard cap on what they were going to pay those dudes.
Yeah, it's so funny. I read that too, and it's just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, of course you have every right to be thinking you're not being paid that well, or maybe you're just tired of doing these movies. You were already in 3 of them. I don't know. I feel like I'm not turning down a working vacation, to go on location to do these things. Not that this movie was filmed in the Caribbean,
but they weren't exactly missed.
No,
no, well, not at all.
And it might be different if the last movie you made wasn't the most expensive movie ever made.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, is like sort of like, you try to play hardball, and like either, you're playing chicken, and sometimes you end up getting fucked.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Now, here's the scene that I don't understand. The character that I do not understand is this Shansa woman. So Salazar.
By the way, this is a useless character. Why even have it?
I don't get because she's with Barbosa. Like Barbosa goes to her first. That's the introduction to this woman. But then we also see her later talking with the naval guys, and I'm like, who is this person?
She's like I don't know. She's working for the British government or something, because Barbosa bribes a British officer to see her.
That's right. Okay, yeah, I do remember that, because she's like locked away somewhere, and he gives the dude a sack of coins.
Do you know who that is?
I do not.
That is Adam Driver's wife in Patterson.
Oh, wow.
Wow, weird.
That's a really good movie.
Well, they put a
great movie.
It's another woman of color that we have to make into a monster, because you just can't have it in this movie. You just cannot have it.
But she's got really piercing eyes. I think that's something that is really forward about hers.
And like, she's just a witch that knows how to get to Davy Jones, and like, oh, not Davy Jones, Salazar we're talking about this time. How to get to Salazar.
It's a different cleep clop.
What is the thing with this woman? Like at the start of this scene where Geoffrey Rush goes in, she's like cooking up something and she drinks it, and it just straight up looks like the ectoplasm at the beginning of the first Ghostbusters movie.
Yep.
Like the shit that Bill Murray gets all over his hands. That's what it looks like she's drinking. And I was like, the fuck you doing, lady?
It's just magic, boosh.
She is kind of magicking right here because she's got a hot cauldron going. She fucking throws that live rat right into it. That was kind of cool.
Hot cauldron? I thought they closed that place down.
Oh, what, we're magicking? You didn't call me? I'd love to magic.
she gives Barbosa the compass.
Oh,
is
right.
what it is. And, it's one of those, like, Barbossa's like, say, I would wager this used to be in the possession of a barkeep because Jack Sparrow traded it for booze. How did you get it? And it's just one of those, I have my ways. Like, just fucking say you robbed somebody.
Or,
You
but
know
it's
what
just a deleted scene, me hearty. Like,
the SS deleted scene. Or I should say the HMS deleted
Yes,
scene.
yes,
Excuse
yes.
me.
Those pages are on the writer's room floor, me matey.
On the writer's room deck. But yeah, so Barbossa's like, all right, cool. I'm going to go off to intercept Salazar here is the idea. Or no, Salazar intercepts him, I
Yes.
think is the idea. But he's got the compass. He's going to go find Jack Sparrow. In the meantime, Jack Sparrow is about to be executed, as is this Karina woman. And as Jack Sparrow is being dragged down the hallway to be executed, I have to say, I love the man. I love the man. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him. This is one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, who is this guy?
Are you kidding me?
No, who is it?
It's Paul
I'm
McCartney.
playing Uncle Jack?
Who's Paul McCartney?
Oh, no. He's doing a joke about the film Yesterday. I thought
I
for a
love
second
it.
Steve Sadak legitimately did not recognize Sir Paul McCartney, and I almost
honestly,
had a heart attack.
His legacy has been erased since he was in this movie.
I mean, here's the thing. They advertised the hell out of the fact that Keith Richards was in that, starting with that third movie. And I'm with Steve. I don't remember that fourth movie even really coming out. So I don't know if Keith Richards was in those trailers too, even though he's in the movie. But
He is, because he's the one, he does like the intro to the trailer.
That's dumb. Sit down, me hearties. We're about to watch a film trailer. But like, I don't remember hearing boo about Paul McCartney being in this movie. And it's just like, what are you thinking?
I think I remembered it vaguely when I saw him, but I totally forgot about it. I remember this movie, I at least kind of remember the trailer. It was like ominous and what do you call it there? It's Javier Bardem doing a bunch of shit. And I was like, they're still making these? But
Yeah.
I at least remembered it. The last one, I do not remember even a single trailer. I swear to God.
But so are you saying that Paul McCartney was in one of the trailers?
No.
for this or
But
something?
I mean, this one I'm more aware of. I remember vaguely that Paul McCartney, like internet
okay.
rumblings. Oh, Paul McCartney, blah blah
Right,
blah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
This movie is only from a few years ago. Somehow,
Yes.
somehow, this
Yeah,
came out in
it's-
2017.
This
It's
was-
insane.
This was the first Pirates movie of the Trump presidency.
But yeah, so it's Paul McCartney. He's like Jack Sparrow, and then Paul McCartney or Johnny Depp is like Uncle Jack, and I'm like, oh my god. And it's just poor Paul McCartney is like just making these terrible jokes and like, oh, you're being executed. Who's your executioner? Oh, that guy is great. Like he's getting a fucking haircut. I did not appreciate this comedy. Like, ask for so-and-so, mention my name, and he won't cut your feet off. Like,
Well,
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney does have one good joke in this, that Skeleton goes into a bar, orders a beer and a mop.
Which is something I feel that's not like an original joke. And I want to say Paul McCartney may have said that elsewhere.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
That hilarious joke.
Well, is it about him? Because Paul is dead, right?
Yeah, right,
It's an
Paul is dead.
imposter here. That's right.
I, little Jackie, you know what happened? Me and my gang were trying to run away and we got caught. We were, you might say, bandits on the run.
Oh, well done.
My favorite part of this whole sequence is when he's like, all right, Jackie, I'll talk to you later. I've been trying to get this shit kicked out of me for days, but we get really bad service here. It's like, what are you up to in that cell, dude?
I get like just all of these jokes about how like this character is acting like he's at a restaurant or a barber shop or something. It was impossible to make this funny
It's
for
just,
me.
yeah, dementia's not funny.
No.
Unless, of course, it's coming from me, President Jonathan. What was my name? J. I don't know, Trump.
So if it's
Jonathan.
Donald J. I don't know what it stands for. No one does.
I'm
Trump.
Fred Jr. No, Fred Jr.'s my dead
Wait,
brother.
where's Rudy? And where is my hydroxychloroquine?
I, President Rupert Pumpkin. Wait, that's not it.
I'll get it. Give me a second. So they're being executed, and it's this kind of funny thing where they're arguing like across the they're on 2 execution platforms. She's going to be hung. There's a whole thing about, there's a new invention called the guillotine, and he chooses that as his method of execution, not knowing what it is.
Nice that they give you an option.
Yeah, exactly. And I do like, there was a funny gag here where he's like, geez, I didn't know that's what a guillotine was. Why don't you stone me? Like a good old fashioned stoning. And they start dragging him towards it. And he says, I'd kill to be stoned right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am right there with you, Jack Sparrow. Let's finish this movie.
Yeah, I think that's why every time I keep hearing Andrew say awesome movie and really cool.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me.
It's underlined in green pen.
I'll have
Go
what he's having.
back.
I'll have what he's having. Thank you.
Go back to the fucking videotape and find where I said awesome movie. I'll give you $100. Awesome movie.
But I do love this sequence. And actually, I think he has
This
good
is a good sequence, actually. The whole guillotine thing is
And
pretty great.
Karina is actually a pretty strong, fun lead. I like this back and forth she has with him here about like murder procedures and who should be murdered first. It's like very Monty Python-y almost.
Yes, yeah, totally.
It's certainly better than, you're fingering me. Oh, good. This is a joke. Me being
Wait,
fingered
what?
is a joke.
I didn't remember that Monty Python.
Oh, that's right.
sketch.
That's coming up next.
Yes.
Stop fingering that dead parrot.
This bleeding parrot's been fingered already.
And then an animated foot falls down on them. And so, of course, Turner swings in during all of this, and it's kind of a funny, like, they film him when he takes the initial jump, and it's this heroic, like, da 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 da, and then he like swings past both of them repeatedly, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it felt like too much. It felt like Spider-Man almost here with this rope.
I
Well,
like Spider-Man.
It was way over the top when all of these villagers were like, hey, you mess with Henry Turner, you mess with all of us. And a dude in a cab came by. I couldn't even believe
The
that.
Mets hat seemed anachronistic.
I don't know why Jim Norton was there even at all, I'll be honest.
Oh, excellent. But yeah, this whole action sequence of them, escaping and everything, I think is pretty great. I do love the he's swinging around and the guillotine's like almost hitting him in the neck, and
Yeah, it's
good.
It's super fun. I think this part again where again there's no magic or mysticism. It's just what could happen to pirates in a fun port, and that's kind of cool. And this is to Chris's point. Henry saves Karina from the guillotine. The door drops. He grabs her to keep her from breaking her neck, and this is when she's like, "You're inside me right now," or whatever the joke is.
Oh yeah. It's like where your hands are.
oh, because it's like
Port and stern and all sorts of jokes.
Port and stern. Yeah,
Poop deck. You're climbing up a poop deck back there.
I don't necessarily know that it translates to a fingering joke, but I'll give it to you.
It was about anal, really. That's
What
what it was.
Well, he says something like, "Oh, I'm just a stranger to you," and she's like, "Well, where your hands are, you can't be a stranger anymore," or something like
Right.
that. It's like,
And then he
sure.
moves it, and you hear like thunk. And it's like, what?
God.
What? In this movie? What?
Man,
I got
the
kids here, man.
sound design is great in this movie.
nominated for sound design, and that's the Academy Award. Like
He shakes his hand,
clip-
you hear a splat.
But the reason the whole kerfuffle really gets started is because Gibbs and Co. are back. They're firing all these fucking cannons at the platforms. It's pretty great. And we come to find out that because Jack's like, "Oh, you came back for me," and Gibbs is like, "No, you piece of shit. This Turner kid's paying us to do it."
which is kind of fun, and then they kind of set sail here, sort of, right? This is kind of it.
Yeah, they get onto this little ship called what? The Dying Gull.
Yes, they get out of the fracas there, and they go back to the ship that we first met them all on. That's like sort of up on the beach, and there's a whole gag about like this is also very National Treasure, by the way. Like the boat, they're like, "All right, we're gonna set sail. Here we go," and they like cut a thing, and the boat starts flying down this ramp. I don't know what like a like a Rube Goldberg machine
Yes,
almost
yeah.
or something.
Yep.
We of course, in the classic tradition of this franchise, the start and stop of everything. We have to stop the boat going into the water because there's a rope there, and the gag is like, oh, now what are we gonna do? And then the rope breaks and they continue, and it's like, okay, we could have just kept going.
And they get out to sea. They tie up Turner and the girl there. It's kind of a weird turn to do, but
Yeah, I don't know why they do either. Like, they're not like enemies; they're friends. I mean, they're friends.
Gibbs was literally paid by them.
Yes, exactly. They're tied up, and it's just another reason for them to be close to one another, kind of a thing.
Blah,
Right.
blah, blah. Meanwhile, Barbosa and Salazar meet, and this is where you could have had a parlay mention, honestly.
Sure, it's a catchphrase.
Come on.
It's like savvy.
You're bringing everything back. Just bring that back too. Why not?
Right.
Have actual Cuckbeard, the original Cuck. I forget his name. Norrington? Yeah, Norrington.
Yeah.
Bring him back. He's a ghost now.
That's who Cuckbeard was.
Yes.
Right. Norrington.
There's been so many movies. I mean, how many hours have we talked about this franchise by now?
A lot.
Half a
It's been
day?
lot. It's been a lot.
It's been a lot, but it almost feels like it hasn't because of the quarantine. Now I'm wondering, should we just start over?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Reappraisal?
Oh, God,
Every
Aaron.
5 more weeks?
No.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, Part 2.
Yeah.
We're reevaluating.
You keep talking like that, I'm going to make you do the Night at the Museum movies, young
Oh,
sir.
Jesus.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, I am game for some little people running around. Hell yeah.
I'm a little cowboy. Oh wow. Oh
Wow.
wow.
Wow. Are they tiny in that
Wow.
movie?
I
Yeah.
think some people are tiny at least.
Yeah, some people are tiny.
Oh, that's dumb. I haven't seen a single one of those
No, neither-
movies.
me
There's
neither
what,
have I.
3 of them?
There's 3 of them.
Uh-huh. Okay. That's great.
Coming up next week.
Yeah, hey man, you never know. So Barbosa, like Salazar boards the ship, and Barbosa's like, hey man, I got this fucking compass, dude. I can take you right to Jack Sparrow. I know how to get to Jack Sparrow. Give me until sunrise tomorrow to get you to Jack Sparrow, and if I don't do it, I swear to God, you can kill me.
I do love this part with Javier Bardem. And it's not, he doesn't have sword hands. He's got sword crutches, I think,
Yes.
Okay.
that he's using. And this is when he starts, every time I tap the floor, I'll kill someone, which is kind of fun.
I thought this was pretty badass, dude. He's just like tap, and like one of Barbosa's dudes gets murdered.
Not those 2 annoying dudes, though. Those guys make it somehow.
That's pretty dumb.
I just-
like kill one of those guys.
I just don't get the crutches, though. Like, you're keeping an injury in the afterlife?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, that's a great point because one of those chickens you describe them as there's like a missing leg and it's walking around fine.
Yeah, I don't get that. And like all the handcuffed thing that is a person, I
Yes.
guess. That one is also just normally walking, it seems.
Let's not forget
Yeah,
Skaggs. Also, he's
he
walking
had-
around.
He had polio before he died.
Oh, I see.
Sad.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
We should
Yeah.
actually just specify they are not in the afterlife, Chris Cabin. They are clearly members of the undead.
Of
Mm.
course. How
Is this
dare I? I
sort of-
slandered them.
Sort of around where we get the flashback or whatever the fuck with the.
Yeah, we can just jump to that. Who gives a shit? It's really it's really not great. But this is where they're sailing to find Jack.
That's right.
And so there's like, okay, we got some time to kill here. Let's throw in some backstory. So Salazar, this is where he explains about his parents, or his father rather, hunted pirates. He worked in the Spanish Navy hunting pirates. Pirates have no place in this world, blah, blah, blah. The thing that I thought was a bit of bullshit, though, here, they do this flashback. Like, I understand for most of the movie, he's around like Geoffrey Rush and these other pirates or whatever. But the scenes where it's the Spanish Navy hunting pirates in this flashback, and it's Javier Bardem, just looking like handsome old Javier Bardem.
Mhm.
Have this dude speak Spanish. Have these guys speaking Spanish
Yeah.
right here. I don't.
Wrong. It's the first movie in the Trump presidency.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But it was like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Let him speak Spanish. It would be great.
Not only that, just give me more Javier Bardem as an alive guy. He
Yes.
looks pretty good as an alive guy.
He could
He's-
be in one of these. What are this fucking thing you guys love, the Peter Weir movie there, Master and Commander? It looks like he
Yeah.
could be, in a sequel to one of those. Aren't there a bunch of those books?
There are, but
Oh.
the first one did not do well.
Oh,
But
so
it-
we'll never see it again.
No,
Oh.
but it's incredible, and you should see it.
Right. I mean, Russell Crowe could never play that role now.
Oh man,
He
Dude,
could play
I
the-
saw Russell Crowe in that fucking
The
not
Kelly
great
Gang.
Kelly Gang
Yeah.
movie.
Mm.
I mean, he's looking like me,
No,
which is
that-
not good for Russell Crowe.
In Master and Commander, 2, he could play the anchor.
yeah. The cook.
Uh,
He'd be perfect for the cook.
You're gonna need more balustrades, love.
More butter, Captain. I need more butter.
That
Oh,
I'd watch.
shit. Yes. They have to find the mythical sea cow to milk it and ferment.
Your
butter.
Honor, does this look like a pirate who had all he could eat?
Oh, yes, it does.
So there's a pirate ship that comes up and little Jack Sparrow is on this pirate ship. Dude, this de-aging of Johnny Depp, he looks like fucking Alita Battle Angel.
Oh, dude, you cut my. That's exactly my nose.
Is it?
Yes,
Oh, really?
Yes.
I finally did it to someone else.
He looks. But he does though.
It's insane.
Why
I
are
couldn't
his
even believe
eyes
it.
so big? It just
I
the
don't
mouth is
know.
wrong. I mean, again, like especially like,
Because he's young and wide-eyed.
and I think
He's got a mouth for days.
Guardians 2 is a bit better with this, but like it's hard when you know what the actor used to look like. Like I know
Yeah.
what a 20-year-old Johnny Depp looks like because I know what fucking 21 Jump Street is or Nightmare on Elm Street. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
totally.
At first, I thought they recast him because I thought it didn't look correct. I was like, well, at least I thought the nose looked off, but maybe I was
It
wrong.
looks like a real doll version of Jack
Yes,
Sparrow.
yes.
Oh yes, which probably definitely exists.
I was at the Disney gift shop, dude. You can get it.
Oh my god! It's the Disney gift shop like at Walt Disney World, but there's a fucking beaded curtain doorway, or maybe saloon doors that you had to go through.
Clean the poop decks. I can't even say it. My lord.
It is a
Poop
real
deck.
doll Jessica Rabbit and a real doll Johnny Depp. You know, we're getting everybody. We're taking care of
That's
everybody.
hot.
Yeah.
Let's
One of
get these
those
two
I would
together.
I would entertain. One of those I would not. Try to guess which one. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So you
I
know
want
they
a Bob Hoskins real doll.
Dude,
Do they make
Exactly.
noises?
every
Yeah.
every Eddie Valiant real doll the fingers and mouth is steeped in cigar smoke, just to give you a real idea of what it would be like.
And you could just have a tape recorder going and just put it up to your ear while you're fucking it, and it says, Roger, Roger.
Dude, they give you he's dressed in a shirt that is pre-stained with whiskey. So they started Salazar starts attacking the ship that Depp is on, and they're sailing towards the
Devil's Triangle.
the Devil's Triangle there, and Johnny Depp is met by, I guess it's the captain of this ship, who's been gravely injured. And this dying dude gives the compass to Jack and says, never betray it, which we already know he did and fucked this whole thing up.
And you couldn't get somebody of note to play his the guy who taught Jack Sparrow how to pirate.
Yeah, totally, dude. I mean, we got all these famous musicians in these movies. Where was fucking Boz Scaggs?
We see none of that, but we see and that's how he got the hat.
Oh, dude,
Great.
and how he got that.
Yeah,
Did
we'll
we say
get to
how
that.
did we say how he killed Salazar here?
He kind of
Well,
just
that's
kinda,
what we're getting to right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
He does the Frank Costanza. Ooh, I stopped short.
He definitely does stuff short. I mean, it's kind of cool. So he's taunting Salazar, and the Salazar narration is great here. He's like, "This boy was mocking me," which is fucking hilarious.
is when
the
a
boat, by
little-
the way,
A little
is
bird in the crow's nest, and he earned his name Jack Sparrow.
yeah. And dude, that is a real fucking Solo and Han Solo
Exactly.
moment there.
Yes.
I don't need to know how characters got names. It's not interesting. It's for fucking, the real dedicated nerds to just start ribbing elbows. Oh, dude, that was a Sparrow. That's Jack Sparrow.
You might wonder where Big Dick Harry got his name. Well, let me tell you. No, I got it. Thank
Whoa,
you.
that's a big one.
The boat, by
His
the way,
father's name was Richard, and he was very large.
the ship is the Wicked Wench, by the way, we learn. So it's, Sparrow's taunting this dude. He's like, oh yeah, you horse's ass, you want to get me? Come on up. So they're heading towards the Devil's Triangle, and Jack basically tells his dudes to throw some lines against a rope, and they basically make the ship cut a hard left. And Salazar is kind of caught with his pants down here, and they wind up flying into the Devil's Triangle. And you see them hitting this thing. This sequence is pretty cool. I like all the effects here. The CGI is kind of nice.
A lot of explosions and stuff, and this is how you see some
Yeah.
of these guys
Yeah.
really get torn into shit.
Question mark though.
yeah.
What is making it explode?
I have no idea.
I think there's supposed to be, there's like, you see them hit a bunch of jagged rocks, and I think what's happening.
They're magic rocks.
No, jagged rocks.
But they also magic because it looks like there's lava water for a
Yes.
long part. That's
yeah,
like what,
well, it's a fantastical place
Yes.
called the Devil's Triangle. Yes, but I think part of the explosions are supposed to be there's a bunch of gunpowder that's getting set off. Like they have barrels of gunpowder on the ship,
Yeah.
and that's all like blowing.
you know what? Give me a couple stupid little golems like running around this place. Why not?
Sure, let's do it. Let's get some monsters.
Yeah, we could have used some monsters in this cave or whatever. That would have been kind of cool. But yeah, so to thank him, now he's just made like the new captain of the Wicked Wench, Jack Sparrow is. And yeah, this is all these dudes start paying tribute right here. And yep, oh my God, couldn't you believe it? The origin of the hat.
Yes, I was. Yeah, thank you.
Yep, give it up. You got to give it up for the hat
For
origin.
5 movies, I've been just fucking scratching my noodle about this hat. Where'd he get it?
You won today, kid. It means you gotta like it.
I think there should be a very detail-oriented person on every film crew who, before they actually go into shooting the film, still in pre-production, this person's job is to constantly be asking the question, would anybody give a shit? And so when you get to moments
Yes,
like this
yeah.
in the screenplay where it's like, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the origin of Jack Sparrow's hat. And then someone pipes in and goes, excuse me, yes, it's me, Nicole, the would anybody give a shit intern. Would anybody give a shit about this?
You're fired.
So
Get the fuck out of here.
Of
So
course
to-
they do.
to escape his home planet, he has to give himself a fake new name, which is, since he's alone, it's Han Solo.
Excuse me, Lord and Miller, would anybody give a shit?
No, but
Oh.
that's why we were fired, and now this is a Ron
Yes.
Howard joint.
One good thing about that scene is I like that like plump imperial officer.
Yeah,
just like
dude, that guy-
whatever.
He's a bit thick with 2 C's,
Whatever.
dude.
There's not enough like oafish loafs in the Empire shown in those movies.
Totally. Yeah, I need more loafs in the Star Wars.
It's fat
universe.
erasure because in Empire that there's a couple of fat dudes in that get murdered by what do you call it there? What's his face? Darth Vader.
And we can't.
What's
we
his
can't.
face?
What's his?
I'm talking about fucking Salazar.
No, I know.
Here's the
know.
thing: is like when they were making Revenge of the Sith, would anyone care?
Just in general.
Yeah,
Just in general across the board, would anyone give a shit?
I'd rather. You know what I'd rather see? Darth Vader.
Yep. Uh-huh.
We also can't forget, of course, one of the fattest heroes in cinema, Porkins.
Oh, of course.
Yes, fat
Oh.
hero, fat legend,
That's-
fat war hero.
That's how you fix Revenge of the Sith, by the way,
Absolutely.
is you make the fucking Emperor fat as fuck.
Dude.
Okay,
Just
so
a huge, like the fat vampire from Blade. Like,
Oh, wow.
I love that.
fat, huh?
yes.
How about Porkins joining the rebellion, and they're like, "Well, you're by yourself. I don't know. You're kind of a fat guy. How about Porkins? I can't use your real name. Social Security, the Empire traces that."
I do. I was mildly amused by Karina trying to explain to them science. Like she's trying to explain to pirates what astronomers are, and she also says that she's a horologist,
Yeah.
which I don't know what that means. But they all keep thinking she's saying that she's a whore.
Yeah, prostitute. It's a real fun joke, and it goes on
Yeah.
forever. But there is a lot of because like her whole thing is like she's an astronomer and like the map is in the stars and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And, like it's a map no man can read. It's like yes, because a woman can read.
Little something there. But yeah, we should say that the map is she's following the stars.
Yes,
Is the idea. She's analyzed this Galileo journal or whatever the fuck that is. and has determined that they got to follow this course with the stars and everything. Meanwhile, now Barbosa has indeed tracked them down, so he will not be murdered when we come back from the flashback. And instead, Salazar starts racing down to get Sparrow because they are also heading towards land, is the idea.
Hangman Bay.
Yes, which I think might be from the ride.
Is that right?
That sounds right.
I'm going to read it.
You know what? I just, I took a cue from Andrew right after I watched this. I put on YouTube and I watched someone filming going through the ride.
Oh, yeah.
That ride fucking sucks.
Yeah,
right?
It's terrible.
It looks terrible. It looks boring as shit. Like nothing happens. There's no hangmen there.
I'll say it again. It is just a wet Hall of Presidents. It really is.
I mean, if I was there, I would totally do it because like the kitsch factor of it all.
Sure.
But I saw a version that had Blackbeard in it and Jack Sparrow. And
is it Ian McShane Blackbeard?
Yeah, but it's only like voiceover, and he's like projected on like a mist or a waterfall thing before you go into like another section of the ride.
Interesting. I didn't notice that part. I just love that maybe I already am reusing this joke, but the Jack Sparrow puppet that is in that ride sounds like one of the like broken robots at Chuck E. Cheese.
No, that's it's the real doll with his real dick. That's what they got it from.
Disneyland After Dark.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! Get out of the park, kids.
I mean, if it's between a dry Hall of Presidents and a wet Hall of Presidents, guess what I'm taking?
I mean, that's
Wet.
a great
I'm
point,
taking
Chris
wet.
Cabin. I mean, because I went to the dry Hall of Presidents and that shit sucked.
Yeah, why would you want to do that?
A more
It's about to get so much better, kids.
a fun kitschy thing to do at Disney that's very similar. It's another animatronic thing is the something of the future. It's like it's basically like it's like 20 minutes. You're just kind of watching all these animatronics learn what the future is. It's kind of fun.
Isn't that the World of Tomorrow?
The World of Tomorrow. Thank you very much.
But isn't it like incredibly dated because it was like conceived in the 60s?
Well, exactly. That's the kitsch factor. It's
Oh,
like,
the kitsch factor.
It's like,
I see.
oh yeah, like well now we have all. I could use a microwave, like that kind of stuff.
I think that's part of that the center of that Tomorrowland movie.
Oh, is that right?
I'm pretty sure.
I have not seen a second of that movie, and I kind of don't even know what it's about.
There's parts of it that aren't bad, but it's a really stupid movie.
You know, that's funny is when I was working at Showtime, what distributor was that? Was that Disney?
That's Disney.
They just sent it to me for free on Blu-ray as like, hey, thanks to the business, blah, blah, blah. And I still haven't fucking watched it.
That sounds about right. George Clooney's like the fucking Wizard of Oz in that movie or something?
He's like some godlike engineer. It's not worth talking about, honestly.
Fair enough. What is worth talking about is the too little, too late, very dumb zombie sharks that happen. Which is right here. So Salazar is pissed off because they're not going to make it to Sparrow in time.
And they, by the way, the pirate ghosts also cannot step on dry land. Have you heard of that one yet?
Yeah.
But these sharks, they're in the ship. They push them out into the water. It's like, what was he a fucking shark enthusiast in life? Was he like, oh yeah, and I'm collecting sharks to bring back to Spain?
Yeah, I don't know, or if like they found these things in the Devil's Triangle and I don't know. They took them with
shark.
Them. I don't know. It is sort of weird that they're just hanging out in the undercarriage of the ship or whatever. But so Jack Sparrow winds up fucking kind of water skiing with one of these sharks. He saves the kid who's like swimming his way to shore. Karina has already been like, "Hey, fuck you two." Because that fucking crazy pirate that's coming for us only wants Jack Sparrow. They don't care about me. I'm gonna swim to shore. And then everybody just it's unable to step on land. I do love that her reaction is just screaming ghosts.
Yeah, it's about right.
It's finally a real fucking reaction to some of this paranormal stuff.
This is when, for some reason, we have this dumb wedding scene.
This is I don't know.
We've been talking about we've been looking forward to this movie because it is the shortest of the movies.
Yeah.
Right.
It's still 2 hours and 9 minutes, and I know which 9 minutes I would cut.
Uh.
You know what I mean? Like,
I just don't get it. I don't understand why this has to be.
Well, the guy that he meets, who he owes money to, it seems, is named Pig Kelly.
Yeah, good old Pig, dude.
And do they all get like animal names? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, sure.
Like
if you live on this island, you mean?
Yeah, Horse Gibbs.
So this is Animal Crossing.
Yeah, they get to an Animal Crossing island.
So Pig Kelly is like, look, I will waive your goddamn. The money you owe me is gone, but you have to do something worse. You hear me? You have to marry my ugly sister. You hear that?
Yeah,
and out comes this nothing but trouble fucking reject.
Yeah, dude, totally. And then when she makes her debut, I wrote in my notes, what is with this?
Well, I think the thing is, half of it was like originally it's written just as a fat joke, but like, well, we got to do it. We can't just make a fat joke. People get mad. So like, what if she's like throwing up the whole time? Like, okay.
And I think she is. What is the like disease you get when like all you're eating is? Yeah. She's definitely suffering from scabies, which is just disgusting.
And she's got kids, mate. I don't do kids.
Yeah.
Love savvy.
Oh, right. She's like, you're gonna have to raise these two little ones, and she's like some widow or something. I mean, never have I been more thankful to see Geoffrey Rush as Barbosa in all my days than right now.
He just murders this dude, and like they kind of get away, and they're like, well, how? And Barbosa reveals that he's double crossing Salazar, and that he wants the Trident for himself, or whatever the fuck, and yada yada yada, rule the seven seas. But first, we have to have a ship. And Johnny Depp's like, "Oh yeah, I got this thing from the last movie. Remember that? Remember this?
Yeah, remember this?
Hey, you hear about this?
Yeah,
you hear about this?
Yeah, I got the black pearl, but it's stuck in a ship in a bottle. It's kind of like that Police song, right?
And he's like, I've never been able to get it out. And he's like, well, you didn't have me magic sword. And I'm like, dude, can I leave?
It's like this movie, like the movie really
can I get
is
partial credit for this movie?
It does not at any point really reference that last movie until this moment. And he's got to be like, you remember how I took Blackbeard's ship and his magic sword? Well, here it is again. And I'm like, yeah, I guess vaguely from last week I remember that. Continue.
I would rather you do a Jay Leno routine than bring that up again, honestly. You know what that movie was? Jesus Christ.
It's just useless to do. Just have it. It happened. It got stolen. We got to pirate it back from other people, whatever.
Or in the beginning of the movie, he's just got the Black Pearl. And that's it. Like it happened. Oh, well, we sure did solve that problem in between these movies. You know what I mean?
That's why, like I said last week, man, it would have been better in that previous movie if he just fucking uncorked the bottle. Like, oh, I wonder what this is going to do. And the fucking ship came out. And then you wouldn't have to worry about this.
Right. And there were more bottles. And I guess that's where Barbossa's fleet came from.
Of course. That makes sense.
Yeah. So they did the thing that I was saying they should have done at the end of the last movie, I guess.
But didn't Gibbs have all of the... He had all the bottles at
man.
the end.
No,
you're right.
I think he only stole the Black Pearl. Or
No. Gibbs has a whole bag.
Oh.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp has the Black Pearl, and Gibbs has the bag of them.
Yeah, because there's something in that last movie where he says to Gibbs, like, oh, I set you free or whatever. And everyone thinks that Gibbs, like, ran off into the jungle. But he really went back and stole all the ships.
You know, next movie, Gibbs is the lead, okay? And he's got tons of ships, and he's a cool motherfucker.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Gibbs.
It's going to be less money, so you can get actually Jay Leno for your cameo instead of Paul McCartney or
They
Keith
should definitely do that
Richards.
since David Letterman was in Cabin Boy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, a little tit for tat.
So, but we
Exactly.
should say, because it's been so long since we started this series, and a year and a half ago, they have announced that they are bringing this series back, but with Karen Gillan as the lead. So maybe Gibbs is going to be hanging out with Karen Gillan.
Maybe.
Oh, I didn't hear this news. Karen Gillan from their Marvel movies?
Yes, and Doctor Who as well.
Oh, sure, of course.
And the Jumanji.
Remember, Steve, everyone on this show has American citizenship. We're not legally allowed to give a shit about Doctor Who. Yeah, no, I think she's rad.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But so is she playing a pirate?
I get that. We just know
said
that
anything?
we just know she's in it, and Johnny Depp most likely isn't. Although I'm guessing Stinger scene, but that's just me. I'm just going to call it here.
A Stinger scene or a Keith Richards-esque cameo,
Exactly.
maybe?
If the first one does well, he'll come in for the second one.
For sure.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I think, you know, it'll be like Stinger scene, Johnny Depp's hat, and then it's like, oh, what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
totally.
then they could pay him in the next one.
He's on a rocky mountain with all these weird nuns, and she hands his hat back to him on a cliff.
I'd be down, dude.
They got on
so-
the black fucking pearl.
Yeah, they get on the Pearl. Geoffrey Rush has a good line here. Time to race the dead.
The monkey shows up, by the way, which also leads me to wonder, like, what about everybody else? Like, did everybody abandon ship but the monkey, or Mackenzie Crook and all those people dead, or
Yeah, there's just a bunch of skeletons in there.
yes.
And
Yeah,
the monkey
I
was
don't
still
know,
cursed, I guess, so he's okay. I don't
Yeah,
know.
the
I don't
monkey's
know.
fine.
Yeah, I don't know where we left off with the monkey. And I don't care.
Yeah, they sink the little boat, and all the little bodies start floating on the water.
Like just these little dead bodies. I love it. Little skeletons.
It's adorable.
Oh.
So they have, there's some stuff with like Karina, coming to grips with there being more out in the world than science, kind of a thing. We do have the weakest part of this movie is that they insist on keeping the British Navy cold on their trail.
They're not even in the movie. I don't even know.
I mean, but it's awful because they cut back to the guy at this point, your Lord of the Rings fella,
David
here.
Wenham.
And he goes, and it's like, it's one of those things where I do have to say, this movie is not as hard to follow as some of these other pirates.
Yes,
movies.
absolutely.
Yep.
And you do not need the check-in with another like tertiary character. And they cut to this guy and he goes, those pirates are going for the Trident. And I'm like, dude, fucking no shit.
And who are you anyway?
They should do get Jack Sparrow to the 13 colonies or something.
Oh, that could be something.
Oh,
It'd
yeah,
be
that
fun.
would really be something. But yeah, so this is where we start. This sequence is where we learn that Karina is Barbossa's daughter. He notices the diary. Where'd you get that? She's like, this is my birthright. I was left on, orphanage steps with it or whatever.
And this is where Barbossa's like, oh no. And he has a conversation with Johnny Depp, who's now tied up to another mast. And he talks to him and he's like, I knew. And Johnny Depp's like, I know who that is. Isn't that something Smythe who we used to know in the old days? And he's like, yar. But she died and we left the baby at the orphanage. And my
Orphanage.
my question is, timeline wise, when did he have this relationship? Because
He's an older dude.
yeah, but I mean, she's 20. You know what I mean? Like, this is the
Ooh.
question. You know
It
what I mean?
must-
'Cause-
well, dude, I mean, what fucking Tony Randall had a kid at 86.
No, but-
Oh, wait, so
It's not
10 years ago were the events 9 years ago were
Exactly.
the events of On Stranger Tides.
no,
No.
19 years ago, because
Oh,
it fucking,
Lord
right?
almighty.
No.
right.
There is a part in this movie where Geoffrey Rush, I think it's actually right before he frees the pearl from the bottle.
Mhm.
He says to Johnny Depp, back when we were dealing with Blackbeard 5 years ago.
Okay, so but that's actually almost irrelevant. The only thing that matters is, when was Barbosa cursed? Because I have this timeline right now, and I'm
You
gonna
think, because I guess if he comes in the moonlight, they're dead. They're dead sperm.
yeah, exactly. Like, he couldn't have, because basically Orlando Bloom had to have been born right around when Barbosa was cursed, right? Because he's, you know what I mean? Like, Will in the first movie is a baby, and then he grows up, and then blah blah blah. His dad,
Sure.
yada yada yada, the mutiny, right? So that's at least like what, 30, 40 years ago? Because like there's because he's 20 in the first movie, right? That's when he's born.
Yeah.
So
Will
then,
Turner?
yeah, Will Turner is call him like 20 years old, right?
Okay.
Okay.
That's the Curse of Black Pearl, and then Barbosa is alive again. I guess he could have fucked, but then Johnny Depp wouldn't have known who his mother was.
But you're activating this timeline confusion based off of the assumption that him as a cursed person couldn't bear a child.
Yeah, right?
Well,
Yeah,
what
I
does
mean,
that matter?
No,
I
mean-
feel like he couldn't because of that. But so it's the original trilogy.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Okay,
Yes.
no.
Well, wait.
What? Here we go.
And then at the end of the original trilogy, it's like 10 years later, they have a boy, and then that boy is at the start of this movie, and then it says
Another 10 years after that. So she's got to be 40 or 40 something.
I'm going to take your word for it on
I
this.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't. You know what? Numbers, they just don't work for me.
I did not check to see if any pointed this out on the Goofs tab of IMDb.
Because it doesn't make any sense. Like he would have, especially if he and Johnny Depp both knew the woman, they wouldn't know the woman in the timeline when Barbossa's cursed.
He was like fucking raw dogging it.
Okay.
Right before he got cursed originally.
Okay.
Would that work?
Oh wait,
Well, no, but again, that's got to be 40 years ago.
How is that 40 years ago?
Because
it's 10. Okay, so it would be 20 years ago.
guys, no, I got it. You ready? You ready for this?
Yes.
Nobody gave a fuck. Nobody in the writer's room gave a flying shit. They were like, yeah, it's Barbosa. We got to kill off Barbosa. She has a daughter at 20. Who fuck cares?
Because
do it.
Even if Orlando Bloom is 20-ish when he dies, then another 20 years have to pass for where we are now, where Henry's about 20.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You know what I mean? Because like if Orlando Bloom has to, Stellan Skarsgård sires him before he becomes a skeleton.
From the events of At World's End,
sure,
this is 20 years later.
Yes, roughly. So then that's got to be 40 years that she's got to be in her 40s. She looks great.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
man.
How about this?
I don't know.
I mean, how about this? Barbosa fucks, impregnates someone right after he's uncursed.
Oh yeah, I guess that. Yeah, the
parallel
one day.
to the events of.
He runs right out. I have to get to fucking.
We gotta get like a contact tracer on fucking Geoffrey Rush's dick and balls.
No, yeah, it'd be the parallel to the events of Dead Man's Chest because he only comes in at the very end and the curse is lifted.
Oh,
That's
I guess
true.
he was
He's
having a
probably
romance with somebody else. Okay.
And Jack, as you know, can exist in two places at once.
Okay.
And defies physics and everything we know about the universe. And he was there.
Chris might be right, but nobody gives a shit except for me. But I just wanted to bring this up because I wrote a whole timeline. I'll show a picture of it on Twitter. It makes some sense.
Well, you better show a picture, dude, because I got lost at sea with all that year,
Yeah,
with all that year math.
It's a real Pepe Sylvia thing.
Yeah. Like the end of True Detective season 1 in the bunker.
Oh man, and then you watch the fucking tape that's got like Barbosa fucking on it.
Oh yeah.
No.
So you know what? The redcoats arrive, and this is the great Truckosaurus comes out, and fucking totally just goes to Chow Town on this ship. All of the Navy men are now officially out of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess. Yeah, because the only motivation for this guy is that he wants the Trident so that England can rule all of the ocean.
And shouldn't Will Turner be picking up these dudes?
Yeah,
you got to call the meat wagon, man. But yeah, so they're all dead at this point. The dead themselves attack, Sparrow and all these guys. The big fucking fight. There's some decent stuff here. I do not appreciate the masthead coming to life.
Oh
like
my
it's the
God,
Stay Puft Marshmallow
dude,
Man.
what is
Masked
that?
Man, dude. No, I'm saying I'm pro masked man. Get rid of the Truckosaurus. Make it just this fucking weird masked man.
Dude, I mean, the only thing that was missing was this thing being like, roar, roar. Like it doesn't make any noise at all, which is, I guess, kind of eerie, but I just would love if it was like grunting after Johnny Depp.
Can we talk about the most disgusting thing I've ever seen? Which is this scene where they Daddy Gibbs needs to pick a lock. And they fucking go.
Oh.
Stephen Graham has a Dumb and Dumber-esque toenail that they rip out of him Syriana style.
Yeah.
And pick
Total
the
Syriana.
lock with it. And it's insane and disgusting, and I wanted to end immediately.
But this is
rough.
a theme in these movies. It's all about this nasty toe shit.
Yeah, we do love toe shit. I also will say my favorite laugh in this entire series that's actual from the movie is when it's right before the British show up and like Gibbs sees him and he's like, hey, Stephen Graham, you're the captain now. And he puts the hat on. He's like, it's the happiest day of my life. And they smash cut to him getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yes.
It is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It's really great. And this Stephen Graham's fucking selling it too, man. They are kicking his ass. It's awesome. But the masthead dude, kind of great thing. So like Jack Sparrow and Salazar on the outsides of the ships were kind of like swinging around all the cannons, which was pretty cool. He does have a sideshow Bob falling and hitting his nuts on the tube thing.
Sure.
which is kind of whatever. I mean, you're not getting out of these kinds of movies without at least one nut trauma scene.
It's genius.
But dude, Eric's favorite character in the franchise, Masked Man,
Love Masked Man.
gets fucking shot in the face with a cannon.
Yeah.
This was pretty cool. And all like the wood chips go flying.
Okay, so imagine like earlier in the movie when that first ship gets taken down by Truckosaurus, if it was just a giant wooden man running through the ocean. Be kind of fun.
Yeah,
by the way, speaking of which, we didn't mention that Salazar's men can walk on water.
Oh, right. That's
Oh,
kind of
right.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty
Jesus
sweet.
Christ shit, dude.
They're stepping on fishes. Is that
What?
Oh, no, I
stepping-
didn't get
No,
that.
There-
I didn't see
There's-
that.
there's
you
a
teach
scene
a man to step on fishes.
No, there's a
he can step on fishes his whole life.
when they're getting off they're chasing Johnny Depp with the sharks. There's a
Yes.
shot from underneath the water, and you see there's little fish that come to each one of their feet.
So they're fucking Aquaman
Yes,
now?
they're Aquaman as well.
I don't like that.
Again, I
rather-
said
Cooler.
I said 8 things. You needed 2 or 3.
Yes. Well, there's also
just-
Gem Island coming up, which I don't need.
Right, just
No, that's rad. We'll disagree about that in a
No,
second.
it's super
Just-
cool, but it's also
just make them ghosts. We could walk on water as a ghost.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fine. I
Sure.
believe it. I don't need no fish shot, although I got to rewatch this movie now to look out for these fishes.
You could just fast forward to that
Well,
part.
here's the thing. In 5 weeks, we'll get to this movie again.
That's a really
right?
Oh,
good
that's
point,
true.
yeah.
Right,
We're
right.
doing
Of
all
course.
of
I completely forgot.
Didn't even think about it.
how many times in a row do you think we would need to do these movies before people actually came to our house and killed us? Like,
It would honestly be right at the start. I would say of the second time we did Dead Man's Chest.
Probably.
And that man would be
like that's it.
and that person would be me.
But so Henry is grabbed by Salazar. Salazar and his crew obviously cannot run aground, so they kind of cut and run. The Pearl runs aground.
but this
and
is when he's like, I'm gonna possess Henry, and the guy's like, but you can't. Then you can't not possess him ever again. And it's like, but Trident, and it's like, oh, okay, okay, Trident, okay, Trident, sure, whatever, Trident.
whatever you say, Trident. Yeah, this
Are
whole
you-
possession thing does not work.
Are you sure you don't want a bubble yum instead?
But so the sun rises and this island lights up, and Karina explains that the island is a perfect reflection of the sky. So like all the jewels and stuff are mapped out to look like the stars.
And it's cool. I mean, it reminds me very much of that one very brief shot in the third movie when the sea is so clear you can see the stars. It looks like the ship is
Yes.
sailing on the
Oh,
stars.
yes. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like the visuals in this movie, I think
Yes, I
are
agree.
kind of a cut above. But so like the little jewel piece that's been on this Galileo journal is actually a missing jewel from this thing. She's like, oh, there's all these red jewels around. Why isn't that pile lighting up? And they go over and Barbosa gives it to her. She puts it in. And everything, all
He
these
gives
jewels
it
light
to
up.
her.
Gives her the gem.
Oh, right.
So
Okay. sorry.
fucking
I
his own
wasn't-
daughter.
I zoned out there for a second.
If anyone was gonna fuck his own daughter, it'd be Barbosa, wouldn't it? Though.
Yeah, I guess so.
Absolutely.
I don't know, man. The monkey's right there. So everything lights up. The Trident fucking blasts out of the water right here. Thank you,
You
Trident.
want the monkey to fuck her?
We should say that Johnny Depp threatens to eat the monkey. I mean, that's
Oh,
that's
right.
monkey pizza right there, my friends.
Dude, shit makes you crazy.
That's right. T-Public, we got a monkey pizza shirt. I'm not joking.
That's the thing is you have to stew the monkey for a while so you can shred
Yep.
the meat to put on the pizza.
Oh, for
Yep,
sure. Yeah, no,
exactly
it's a
right.
2-day
Important.
braise.
Yeah,
It's
You
for-
want
yeah.
pulled monkey.
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
You do want pulled monkey.
By the way, this trident we're seeing here
Yep.
looks like shit.
Yes,
I-
it does not look good. It does
Not
look
good. I was not into it.
It looks way more like shit fucking a bunch of Kree would hold or something than their Marvel movies,
And this is
you know?
very
Oh,
much
yeah.
like a video game where you're like, oh, cool, I'm in the last level. And then like a cinematic happens. And they're like, oh, I guess it's not the last level. Because everything changes. And they wind up going into this underwater grave kind of area.
This was kind of
Yeah.
rad, I thought, like the sea sort of parts and
It
everything.
was a cool visual. I like later there's like an anchor going down there. It's pretty neat. But I don't need Salazar possessing Will Turner and then being
No.
knocked in and out of his body.
That's the line I was referring to earlier when they're like, but you can't put yourself into Turner. You'll be trapped in his body forever. And he goes, the Trident will help me.
Yep.
And I was like, what? How do you know?
What are you talking about?
Trident. No, the Trident.
Yeah.
Trident.
But yeah, this is so they say, he says, you cut me, you cut the boy, Jack, so they're fighting around it is the bottom of the ocean. The sea is just sort of separated right now. Trial separation for the sea.
And then I guess the water, as it's like closing in, the rest of Salazar's guys kind of go to the bottom of the ocean, kind of try to help and fight and stuff. So they're all kind of there too.
They're like the wrestlers in a tag team thing, waiting to get tagged in because they can't go. It's technically on land, so they can't come out of the water wall and help out Salazar.
Yes.
And so Salazar is fighting with Jack Sparrow all over the place. He's using the trident to like fly Jack all over. This is a little too cartoony for my taste.
Oh, for sure.
And so the idea is, I don't know how they come to this conclusion, but if you break the trident, you're going to break every curse at sea. And so they do literally that. She breaks the trident. Everyone is restored. That's part of Salazar's team. You see Bardem turns back to normal looking Javier Bardem, which is pretty great.
But wouldn't you like the same thing with Will Turner as well, and all these curses that are going to get broken? The curses are just the dead living still, so they'd just be dead. You know what I mean? Like Will got murdered on a ship.
Right.
Fucking Salazar got murdered on a barge. He just lived.
Do you have a chart for this one too?
No, I don't. But living is the curse. They would be dead. They would just be dead.
Living is the curse.
I'm learning that very well.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
Okay.
There.
I just want to be clear.
It's a dumb pirate adventure movie.
Steve, you are right, but whatever.
Sure. Yeah, it's a dumb pirate adventure.
And in traditional like Indiana Jones fashion, right here, like, oh, this thing's broken, all these curses are broken, the sea walls are going to start caving in, and then this action sequence, as much as it is CGI heavy, the CGI holds up enough. It is 2017, so things look a little better. It's pretty rad. But Barbosa swings in on the anchor. You got Gibbs fucking driving the Pearl. And they're basically dropping the anchor to pull them out before the water
these are fun.
kills them. Yeah.
Pretty big anchors, by the way. I didn't know they'd be that
huge anchors.
Huge.
Yeah. But
it's Russell Crowe's cameo.
But it's kind of rad. They all get on the anchor. Salazar is like, hey, all my men, go fuck yourselves. I'm getting on this anchor too to kill these people and get out of here. All these dudes die as the water starts caving in, and they're climbing up this chain to get up to the ship. There's a lot of, who's going to fall. Salazar's going to pull whoever. Karina notices Barbosa has a tattoo of the star chart.
Dude, this is a hipster tattoo. I'm sorry. This is like a barista's tattoo.
It absolutely is this. I love it's just simple line work. Although honestly, dude, man, pirate tattoos at the time, I mean, all you're really doing is like basic line work anyway. Right. I think it is funny though, because while I think it's a legit tattoo for a pirate to have, it's definitely now just a barista line tattoo.
Well,
absolutely.
We've all been through this experience together now. 5 movies. Should we all get this tattoo?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I would get that star tattoo if you guys all got it.
Like the Lord of the Rings cast.
Yeah, only way more pathetic.
Or Suicide Squad, more like it.
Oh, right. What, they just got tattoos that said suicide on them?
I forget what it was, but they most of them got tattoos. Other than Will Smith, smart guy.
Yeah, totally. Thanks, but no thanks.
Wow, that's a really cool tattoo. What is that? Me and my friends watched 5 movies over 5 weeks.
Get out. So she sees the tattoo. It's kind of it's a sweet-ish line. She says, "Who am I to you?" And he says, "Treasure."
Treasure. He really gives it to it.
Sure.
It's a great Geoffrey Rush delivery.
Yeah, and I think he knows, like, okay, this is the last time I'm going to be able to speak like a pirate. I really got to do it up.
Yeah.
So, he jumps down on Salazar. Kind of rad, actually, because I believe it's Sparrow drops Barbosa a sword.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he runs down like, we're going to hell tonight.
Well, his cartoon character does.
Oh, sure. He
looks very trim in this scene and this scene alone.
Yes, you're totally right.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you got out of the entire bodysuit you were wearing for this movie.
Well, it's a thing.
It was a trick to think that I was fat. I'm a spry man.
It's a thing where I didn't even know who it was, and then I was like, oh, I guess that's Barbosa.
Because
he's not wearing the hat either.
We've never seen him without the wig.
Yes, exactly.
I gotta
yeah.
say, I would love it if you go to Geoffrey Rush. He goes to his neighborhood butcher. It's today. He's living a quiet life now, and he just goes in and he's like, "R, 2 pounds of flank." Oh, sorry, Sam. I'm sorry. It just happens sometimes. I miss the work. I'll be honest with you. I just miss the work.
The pirate work.
Honestly, I would if they did like a side movie, like this is what Barbosa was up to when he was fucking, making children or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I would watch that. I would watch a
I'd
Geoffrey
watch it,
Rush
yeah.
solo pirate movie.
He's-
Barbosa solo outing. Yes.
I think he might be getting a little too old, but I definitely agree. I think, he's the best part of these movies,
Just
hands down.
De-age him like fucking Jack Sparrow.
Oh, you know what? Then maybe not. So he makes the ultimate sacrifice. They fall back down. Kind of fucking great here. Did you guys catch Salazar hitting this anchor?
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Yes,
god, dude!
yes,
He's like
yes.
he's like propeller guy in Titanic.
To de-age Geoffrey for these new Pirates Barbosa series, we had to use older Geoffrey Rush movies that we only had quills. So we used his dick.
And of course, now we have the designs for a Barbosa real doll that everybody's gonna wanna buy. They're flying off the shelves.
It's cheaper to make because his leg missing.
Sure. All right, yeah, let's fucking wrap this up, man. So he's dead. They all get back on the Pearl safely. Everybody kind of doffs their hat to, in memory of Barbosa. Even the monkey was kind of sad. I felt bad about the monkey, man. He lost his best friend. There's a dumb thing that it's fucking. I feel like Rise of Skywalker ripped this off. She's like, Barbosa. My name is Karina Barbosa. You're like, okay already.
And they wind up going to shore, and oops, look, it's Orlando Bloom is that, you did it, son. Look at me. Hey. Oh.
Dude, it's so weird. I mean, why do they have to wait for him to show? Like, they're waiting back. Like, I don't know. He should have popped up at some point a little earlier
to help them out or something.
Yeah.
He looks like he's gonna fucking be in a tag match with the Undertaker at SummerSlam at the end of this movie, man.
Dude, I am telling you right now. I said it last night, man. But like, because now he doesn't have any of the barnacle shit on him. It's just Orlando Bloom.
Yeah.
In 2017, dressed like a pirate. Motherfucker looks like Kid Rock.
He does.
He looks
really
exactly
does.
like Kid Rock.
Because he's got like this bandana over his head, and
he looks like he smells like shit, just like Kid Rock. So they're like, oh, here's the Karina, that gives a big hug to old daddy does, and then what's ridiculous, and this is only for teasing the audience expectation, but it actually makes no sense as far as the story is concerned. After they're greeted and everything, then like Orlando Bloom looks off in the distance, and here is Keira Knightley running across this field, and I'm like, why didn't the kid wait for his mother to come down and meet the father?
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, mom.
Why did they leave her?
Mom's, she's taking it forever to get dressed. Like, but Dad's gonna be here. Dad's gonna be here.
You know what, Mom? Fuck you. I'm going down to the beach.
Meet us out there.
It's a fuck you, mom, because this is a dad-centric franchise. Every single movie is like, my dad, I love him.
Right.
I love my dad. I don't know him. He's probably abusive, but I love him.
I also love, where did Stellan Skarsgård go?
Well, that's what I was about to say, dude. We're not loving all dads in this movie. No Grandpa Skarsgård here. I guess he's back on the fucking ship still. I don't know.
That was definitely, Skarsgård wanted a shit ton.
I bet, right? The Marvel movies... I'm on there for 2 seconds. I get $10 million.
I mean, and I don't think they were going to get Nighy either.
No,
maybe for the 6th movie.
Nighy has been dropping a lot of hints saying that he wants to come back. Yes.
No. God damn it.
And what? Come on. That guy's he's old.
He's very, very old.
What? Like...
Well, all he has to do is limp around a fucking fake ship with a bunch of dumb shit on his face that they're going to CGI anyway. Does it matter?
I just love how exasperated Eric is by the idea.
I mean, it's a bad idea, man. I don't know.
Listen, I'll do it, but I'm not going to do the accent. I just need to talk like this now.
I'll take it. I will take it. I'll take it over him throughout the course of a film slowly giving up on a Scottish accent.
In this scene, Davey is going to sit in the corner for a bit. Maybe he'll watch his movie Emma.
Okay, I'll do it, but it's not going to be the CGI tentacles. We're going to make them with straws and tape them to my face. we got to change it up a bit now, fellas, don't we?
9 out of 10 stars would recommend.
What if
it's just him wearing straws on his face?
What if Davy Jones has straws on his face and he never stands up?
Yeah, totally.
You gotta,
Dude, next movie, man, Michael Caine pirate, if that's the case. I could sit down the whole time, eh? All right.
he got a throne of straws.
What if Davy Jones is cursed at a Holiday Inn suite?
I think Chris is onto something with this straw stuff because guess what? This idea, it sucks.
Oh, wow.
There you go. So that's it with them. They're all reunited and whatnot. And then in the distance is Captain Jack Sparrow once again, captain of the Pearl. Everything is right with the world. And here's Gibbs asking what the course is.
Yeah, he's got the respect of the crew back, which happens, but it's also, again, like if that's the point of the movie, we need to make that a little bit firmer.
We got to flesh that out a little
exactly.
bit. Yep.
Like that, everyone's like, "Oh, Jack, you really did it this time," or like he's tempted to go to a bar, something.
Yeah. But he does have Gibbs like pulls out a map and then he's like, no, Mr. Gibb, I'm navigating by the stars on this one. Gibb kind of hilariously just throws the map away, which is pretty funny.
I want it.
But he does have kind of a nice line here. It's, I have a rendezvous beyond my beloved horizon. Pretty okay send off,
Sure.
I think, for this. It doesn't end with yo ho ho, whatever the fuck. The monkey fucking has one last gag there.
Oh, right.
Because it scares him again.
Yeah.
Is the whole thing.
But now he's like the monkey is going to be his now, it seems.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Now they're buds. He doesn't want to eat him anymore. And he goes off with his rendezvous for the beloved horizon. And that is the end of the movie until two things happen. One of which is somewhere buried deep at the end of the credits. There's just someone credited as woman.
Okay.
So that was pointless. Let's call this person anything else, please. And then this stinger scene, man.
It sucks ass. It
This
sucks so much ass.
It's ass.
Just don't have a stinger. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to bring back Davy Jones in the next movie, figure it out next time. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Also, because you've already let me down in the stinger with fucking Penelope Cruz already.
Yeah,
You've
where
got
is
no
she?
stinger credibility anymore.
But Marvel has stingers. We have to have a stinger.
Yeah,
what else are we
it's like
supposed to do?
Well, Chris, this had stingers first.
Oh,
that's true. Well, so this stinger is Will Turner's having a nightmare that it's like, who's at the door? They're both sleeping in bed. Door opens and you see in the shadow, it's clearly the squid person, Davy Jones, which makes no sense because I thought all these curses were fucking broken.
And he's dead. Like his curse was, he was already.
Oh, that's right.
He was
fucking
already
totally
replaced.
dies.
He was already replaced with Davy Jones. He fell into the ocean. He's fucking dead. He's dead.
Super dead.
Yeah,
Super
I
dead.
forgot about that. I forgot. That's right. So he wakes up. It's like, oh, it's just a dream. Oh, okay. And he like rolls over and he, sort of spoons Elizabeth Swann there. And then the camera just we just tilt down here. And I guess it's pieces of barnacle on the floor.
I'm pretty
Right,
sure
this
that's
is
what
right-
it is.
This is right before we do get one quick shot of a big lobster claw that's all wet and nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. That's
lobster claw.
right. Part of the nightmare is he sees that. Yeah, you're totally right. But yeah, it makes no fucking sense from what you have already done in these movies. I don't get
The
it.
only thing I could think of is the movie is very horny, very pervy. There's a lot of sex jokes throughout.
Sure.
Yeah.
And this is almost directly how Basic Instinct ends. Like almost exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of barnacles, it's a rolling around ice pick.
Sure.
But like it ends with Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone like about to go at it again, and then the camera literally does the same thing the camera does in this movie and just goes down.
Chris, did I accidentally watch an erotic thriller right now?
I think you did.
Okay.
I think we accidentally watched an erotic franchise, to be honest.
I think I just thought of a logic loop that we could get Davy Jones back. So now Orlando Bloom is free of that curse and he's back home, right? So I guess maybe there always has to be a Davy Jones.
Maybe,
So it brings back the old Davy Jones.
Oh, fuck. Bill Nighy's just like at the bottom of the ocean enjoying being dead. And then it's like,
Yeah.
oh no, not again.
Erica, you're about to get a phone call to write the next Pirates.
I will do it in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
Of course we would. That's the thing with all of this. Of course we would.
And also, I mean, look, we're
Yeah.
experts at this point. We're getting tattoos next
Absolutely.
week.
Yeah.
Pirate tattoos. Call us up, Disney. Come on.
Totally. So that is the end of this movie. That is so far the end of this franchise. Wow, what a journey. Would anybody recommend this movie?
I would not. I think that there's more here that I would have thought for a fifth entry for sure. It's definitely better than the fourth movie in terms of direction and most things. But the last act and a lot of the choices they make are so silly and so stupid and tedious. It's just it's a no. It's a no for me.
Let's rank the franchise as we do this as well.
I would go 1, 2, because you gotta give Verbinski the second one too, just because I feel like I love the Bill Nighy design and a lot of the Kraken stuff it's all bad. First of all, I don't like any of these movies, to be clear. 1, 2, 5, 4, 3, and somebody else had asked this question on Twitter, which is, would you rather watch are these worse than the Transformers movies? They are not. I would rather watch any of these movies than the Transformers movies.
Disagree.
I agree.
Oh,
Well, one at a time here. Let Steve say that.
I don't like any of these movies, and I don't like any of the Transformers movies, but I would watch most of these movies before all of those Transformers movies. That is me.
Chris Cabin, how you feel?
Oh, it's awful. Don't watch it. I guess we didn't even get to all the sex jokes. Like literally, Johnny Depp at one point, he sees the noose and he's like, "I wish I was hung."
Yes, definitely.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, it all sucked. I guess my ranking would be 1, 2, 5, 3, 4. And I prefer Transformers wholesale to this.
Wow.
Wholesale. Because Michael Bay is going for it. And it's stupid and awful and makes my ears hurt. But it's like he's going for that's Michael Bay at his like full bloom. And I'm there for it. I like seeing him having fun. Whereas
they should get Bay back in the ocean like Pearl Harbor for this next one.
Yeah, get him to do this Pirates movie. It'll be great.
No.
Eric
Siska.
Right.
I'm not going to really recommend it, but you could do worse in this franchise. There was some interesting stuff there. I didn't mind it as much as some of the others. My ranking is actually exactly Steve's, is 1, 2, 5, 4, 3. And I would much, much rather revisit all these movies, which we'll be doing starting next week. No, I guess we're not. But over the Transformers movies, I really I detest the Transformers series.
There you go. Here's the thing. I would recommend this movie. Wow. I feel like I have sat through a lot of crap. And this is also crap. But it's crap that I liked. It's crap that I could follow. I wasn't confused. I did not need any character telling me what was going on and stopping the movie. It's action set pieces that I can see. They're competently lit and edited so I can follow everything. And there are some legitimately really good action scenes, well-directed action scenes in this movie. Would recommend. And I am 1, 5, 2, 4, 3. That's me. And yeah, this franchise, time and again over the Transformers, I cannot tell you how much I despise those movies. And because of the main reason that I just said that I sort of liked this movie, which is that I cannot follow the action scenes in those movies. It's just too much. And there's a lot of too much here. Like, don't get me wrong. Sure. There's also a lot of bad here. But just, I don't know if it's just that I'm exhausted, if it's quarantine madness or what. I had a good time with it. I apologize to the world at whole for liking a movie.
Sure.
I think those Transformers movies like change the movie logic more from each movie.
Yes,
this one's more consistent at least.
This one, you're right. Those movies always say, "Oh, don't worry about the last movie. That's different," and that always bugged me.
I kind of prefer that.
Oh no.
Well,
I think if you go back through the episodes that we've listened to, it's probably you complaining the exact opposite about them.
I don't care what. I don't need callbacks. I don't need you to like have some logic for all this. Like that's when we're talking about like her, like the Barbosa mystery of having a kid. Like I really don't get. Like I don't think anybody gives a fuck, and I don't think you should act like it matters at all.
That's fair.
No, and it doesn't, and all that, like all the family shit in this franchise, like I don't think it works, but it's like it's Disney, so they care about that shit more than Paramount does because they need families to come to their fucking theme parks and whatnot. So, I understand why it's there, but yes, it's wretched and I don't care about families that much. But that is it. We did it, you guys. We did it. We
Yay.
survived fucking Pirate Mania. Thank you for sticking with us. Thanks to all our guests throughout Pirate Mania, Chelsea Jupin, Ben Worcester, and Jordan Searles. It was really great to sort of share the torture a little bit with some folks. But Steve Sadak next week.
Ooh.
We Hate Movies officially gets into summer blockbuster extravaganza. And even though you can't really go anywhere this summer, we will still be hanging out with some bigger titles. What will we be rocking next Tuesday?
We are doing mid-aughts, the Scooby-Doo movie that Sarah Michelle Gellar joined, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Rutro.
Yeah,
well,
There's more than one.
Yeah, there's two.
They do too.
Did they?
Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed, I
Yeah.
believe, was the second film.
Wow.
Saw both of these in the theater. I did.
Really?
Oh,
I haven't
boy.
seen either of them.
Don't think I've ever seen either of them all the way through. I've definitely seen chunks enough.
Yeah.
You're not missing a thing.
We'll be blowing chunks.
Totally. But for more We Hate Movies, of course, check out patreon.com/We Hate Movies. We got a
Ooh.
lot of bonus shit up there.
Let's mention the premium episode for this month.
Please do.
It's No Country for Old Men, tying in with Javier Bardem. We've already recorded it. It was a ton of fun. I think might be a series high for us. So please check it out.
Very proud of that work. Yeah, it's
Yes.
a really fun ep. Super fun.
Totally. And, all throughout the summer, we will be continuing, of course, all the Patreon offerings. So We Love Movies, Animation Damnation, The Nexus, Gleep Glossary. It's all continuing, baby. It's all gravy going through the quarantine with everybody into the summer. Into the summer, it's still continuing.
Yep.
And that's fine, I guess. That's totally fine. So until next week, when the Summer Blockbuster Extravaganza 2020 kicks off with Scooby-Doo, I'm Andrew Jupin.
Steven Sadak.
Eric Siska.
Chris Gavin.
Take it easy.
That was a headgum podcast.